Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big COC Energy. I'm Zraitor, your host. Our offering for episode 29 is The Burry Man by Keith Dedinburgh. It is the third scenario in the Edinburgh Files, a multi-scenario campaign set in Edinburgh in 1923 and 2023. This scenario will be played over 3 episodes. The Burry Man, July 1923. Professor Harold Webb, head of the Faculty of Anthropology at Edinburgh University, gets in touch with the investigators and invites them to be his guest at the Hall's Inn in South Queensferry as a thank you for past deeds and to witness his young niece, Jenny Sinclair, take the part of the Fairy Queen during the town's annual summer festival. He promises an enjoyable and relaxing break from the chaos of the city and insists on paying for the investigators' accommodation and living costs during the 3-day visit he has planned for them. Starring Eerie Lunarose as Theodora Wallace. Song of Bird as Eileen Davies. SINoALFON as Bruce Newsome. Introducing Nama Jeff as Ellis Reid. And finally, myself, Zraitor, as the keeper of the arcane lore. Our investigators each arrive at South Queensferry either by train or car. If traveling by train, Dalmany Station in the nearby village of the same name is the closest stop, around 15 minutes travel by train from the center of Edinburgh. Once alighting, a short and pleasant stroll down through wooded hills leads to the town of South Queensferry. Traveling by car takes a little longer, but it is equally scenic. The rolling fields to the northwest of Edinburgh give way to the grounds of the Dalmany estate, then descend to the town, where adventurous drivers may continue their onward journey north aboard the small car ferry operating between the towering pillars of the Forth Bridge. Harold Webb has arranged accommodation for everyone at the Hall's Inn, a tavern dating from the 17th century. He greets everybody outside the building with a warm look on his face. You see the man as you know him, early 60s, white of hair and beard, smartly dressed, with an intellectual mischief about him. The strain and darkness that was on him months ago seem to have lifted, and it is clear that he is in high spirits once more. Now we know that Theodora Wallace is an antiquarian, an old friend of Harold, and that Bruce Newsome is a private eye that he employs to look into matters for him quietly, and that both have recently helped him to locate a missing teacher from the college that he works at. Who are our two new investigators, and what is their connection to Harold Webb? Eileen Davies, please give us a little introduction to yourself.
Hi, I'll be playing Eileen Davies today. She is a she's a niece of Professor Webster. She's a young woman, photographer by trade. She's quite excited, but she tries not to show it. She approaches him and says, "Uncle, how are you?"
Well, I'm doing well. Niece, how have you been? And before we begin the conversation, then we will go. Oh, Ellis Reid, please give us a little introduction to yourself.
Yes, yes. And thank you for inviting me to this session, by the way.
You're welcome.
So I'll be playing Ellis Reid. Where to begin with this character? Okay, so imagine basically in your mind like the very stereotypical like British sailor, Navy man kind of archetype. Big, kind of like broad, kind of looking fellow. Smartly dressed for the time, as far as a military man can be. About, I think 6 foot is what I ended up coming down on for him. Um, he's a nephew of Harold. He gets down off the train. He gives him a big old barrel hug. He's like, my uncle, how nice to see you again after all this time. Just basically reacquainting himself in his big, kind of like boorish kind of way, but like he's got a heart of gold though, so you can't help but love him. So
All right, how about we start from there? Eileen begins to talk to Harold, and Ellis just goes up and gives him a big old barrel hug. He's like, "Oh, oh." And my nephew. This has been a great day so far. Everything's been so bad lately, but things are looking up. My other niece, Jenny Sinclair, she's going to be this year's Fairy Queen. I'm very excited. I've recently reconnected with Hudson Webb. It's my older brother. I'm not sure if you two are aware of him, but that kind of got me into the mood to reconnect with my other family. You know, I'm getting on in years. These things are on my mind.
Eileen, Eileen produces this camera. It's a it's a Kodak vest pocket autograph, and she's not like setting it up or anything to take a photo. She's just kind of holding it, kind of looking at it, making sure that it's ready for anything. She's small and thin. She's got a fair complexion. As she's examining the camera, she's her face is kind of making different expressions, like as if she's checking something, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, that's all right." And then she moves on to another thing, and her face scrunches up a bit, and then she sees that it's okay and relaxes a bit. She has a boyish haircut. Her hair is dark brown, and she has these pale blue eyes that kind of, they seem very attentive, whatever they're looking at.
Is Harold aware of that you're a photographer? Does he? How much does this character know about your character? You're quite,
Um,
you're like
I
40
don't
years
think
younger than
they're
he is.
I don't think they're particularly close.
Okay.
She's probably hasn't seen him in a long time, but I think that she's more excited about whatever the strange festival she's heard about. She's more excited about photographing that than she is seeing her uncle.
Sees your camera's like, Eileen, you're a photographer these days? How's that treating you?
Oh no, right?
All right, then.
Made a dark room in me mom's place. Up in the attic.
It's gonna be a lot of weird stuff going on here to take pictures of. This festival is pretty weird.
She
You're gonna meet,
kind of smiles at that.
you're gonna meet the Burry man.
Yeah, so what's that
Roll,
all
rolls
about
her
then?
eyes a bit.
He's well, there's his flowers that are, I guess, put on him somehow. I don't quite know all the particulars. I think it's all very strange, but it's fun, kind of strange. And nobody really knows the meaning of him. He just kind of wanders around the town. Some people think he's to, it's some kind of pagan thing to ward off evil spirits. But and yeah, he greets townsfolk, and I guess it's probably his favorite part. He goes to every tavern and sips some whiskey from each one.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, he's pretty
Yeah.
pretty tipsy by the end of the day, whoever this person is. Oh, and we don't actually know who he is. That's part of the tradition. We don't know who he is each year.
Any man I can share a drink with, he's a friend of mine. That's all I know.
Ah, you're a drinker these days, are you? Out there on those ships that we've been getting up to, nephew?
Well, that's how it goes on the high seas. When you're fighting against the Germans, you need something to take the edge off, you know? So it went from the one glass to bar crawls, pub crawls, all that kind of stuff. But I'm looking to chill down with this here festival and maybe just reconnect with family, you know?
Yeah, you see sort of like a flash of darkness over him for a second. It's like, yeah, the Great War that changed a lot of things, and he tries to cheer up, but that's no matter.
Mhm.
And we have one quiet person in the back there. How you been doing, Bruce? And he tries to shake your hand.
Um, uh, Bruce will shake Harold's hand and tips his fedora. It's, nice seeing you, Harold. I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, I am fantastic. I'm glad you can come out. Who's taking care of Clementine?
Uh, she takes care of herself half the time. I got her back at the apartment, you know. And he looks at everyone, and my cat. I have a cat at home.
Yeah, I guess Frederick Edwards, he's decided to stay back in Edinburgh. He's quite serious as you remember him. And I believe Olivia Reid, I heard she's working on a new play. She's very excited, but she hasn't given me any details.
Yes, I've been trying to get details, but you know, uh, I'm a bigger fan of her than she is of me, despite the fact
Well,
that I saved her life. But
I'm sure she's just busy. She'll warm up to you eventually. You tried to bring her flowers, remember? You can't be mad if somebody brings you flowers.
right? That's my thought. But you and I, we always have a penchant for trouble, so I think maybe she smells that.
And of course, who can forget Miss Marjorie Duncan? She's staying back at the university taking care of things. It was her idea, actually, for me to take a break and get out here on this little vacation, so I'm grateful for her. I didn't realize how correct she was until I got out of here in this fresh air.
It'll be a nice change of pace. So what's to do first at all of this festivities, Harold?
Ah, well, first, and he kind of tries to theatrically wave towards the inn, the hall's inn. And he's like, "I'll get you checked in into your room here. So just follow me inside." And he opens the door, walks in. Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
we follow him. So
Okay.
what sort of inn is
Yeah.
this place?
Yeah.
This is the Hall's Inn, which I believe I said it was as you can see, it's a decent little inn. The accommodation is far from luxurious, but it's well above what you consider basic. It'd be a nice little stay here. And while you're looking around, taking it in, you see a robust and cheerful looking woman in her mid-60s just kind of rushes out, and she's like, "Well, hello, everyone. Hello, hello. So glad you're here.
Hello to you too, ma'am.
A fine day, lassie.
Why, thank you. I will show you all to your rooms. Each of you will have your own room. They all have a bed, a nightstand, a wash basin, and a wardrobe, but we have communal lavatories. They're at the end of the first floor corridor where each of your rooms will be situated in. She just sort of fans out with all of you and shows you each to your own room to get settled in.
Eileen gives a quick ta, and then just kind of smiles and sits down in her room. She's kind of relieved to have her own place.
Yep, Webb, your Uncle Webb did not spare any expenses here.
Is this a single story inn or
No, I believe there's a second floor, but all your rooms are on the first floor.
okay, okay.
You all get settled in, and Webb is standing out there greeting you all, and he's like, all right, everyone, I'm going to take you about for a stroll of the South Queens Ferry High Street. The celebration is about to begin. You can take it all in and enjoy this fine fair atmosphere with me. All right, Harold Webb takes everyone out into the street with him. You're all quite the group. The street is festooned with bunting celebrating the fair. Children play in the streets and alleys leading from the high street. Couples and families walk along the promenade, pausing to admire the views of the Forth Estuary and the Forth Bridge. Somewhere out of sight, a brass band plays, the music wafting over to where all of you and Webb are walking. The weather is pleasant, the water is calm, and all this adds to the celebratory mood of the day.
Eileen is gonna try to find like she's keeping her eyes open for like a shot that has maybe some bunting and then also a view of the bridge. And then once she finds that, she's gonna like kind of blurt out for everyone to stop. And she's gonna like try to arrange everyone to like take a photograph.
Yep.
And she sets up her little camera.
Yep, Harold takes a huge
Photo.
smile for you.
Ellis is just flexing his muscles, his tattoos, service tattoos.
Like a
Bru-
strapping young man.
Oh, thank you.
what is it? Bruce just does a very confident pose.
All right. As Eileen snaps the picture.
Yeah. She's gonna say, quite the picture of all of you together. I'll turn out real pretty.
I'm looking forward to my copy, Harold says to you.
She gives him a big smile and continues.
All right. Harold Webb continues with you all, and he leads you past what's called Black Castle, which is not actually a castle, it's a building. The Fairy Tavern is next door to this Black Castle, and its patrons are in good spirits, and they're spilling out onto the cobbled street. Ahead, the clock of Roseberry Hall strikes. As the peal of the bells fade, children take up an excited cry, and they're yelling, "He's coming! The Berry Man is coming!" Then brass band music stops. It's replaced by the steady beat of a solitary drum. Then, ahead, a strange figure comes into view. Arms rigid and outstretched, the male figure is covered from head to foot in sticky burrs, which are the seeds of a prolific local plant. He is flanked on both sides by the solemn two-faced men in white shirts and trousers. One of these beats on a drum, while the other stares out ahead, periodically crying out, "Make way for the Berry Man!"
Eileen will kind of move in front. We'll try to move like close to them, and she'll ask the man who's like kind of crying out if they can stop and take a photo. She'll be like, "I'm a photographer. Do you mind if I snapped a photo?"
Yep, all three figures stop, and the Berry Man himself, his head turns to you slowly, and then he nods. Yes.
All right. she's gonna set it up, and she's gonna try to get kind of like a not a typical angle, kind of like a lower angle,
Mm,
kind of make the Burry man appear a bit more, I guess,
terrifying.
menacing, like
Yeah.
maybe from a child's point of view,
Mm-hmm.
and try to get like a close focus so that the background is a little blurry. And it's probably gonna take a minute to get it set up, and then she's gonna take the photo, and she's just gonna kind of nod excitedly, and then give a quick ta, and then take the camera away.
Without any visible excitement, the three figures they just continue on to their march, and you all watch on as the Berryman makes his way to every front door on the high street, with the notable exception of the door of Black Castle. The attendant without the drum knocks once, and then the resident inside opens the door. They receive a stiff nod from the Berryman, and he continues on his way.
Harold, you're the expert on this. You're the one who brought us down here. Why aren't they going in that one?
Hmm. I don't actually know, to be honest. And I wish I was an expert. No, I'm working, working, working. This is all new to me. I just came to enjoy my niece, Jenny Sinclair, being crowned, honestly. Maybe we'll put together some kind of paper on this when we get back.
Indeed.
Is this some kind of like Christmas Carol kind of tradition or
Well, all as I'm aware was some kind of pagan ritual, and the true meaning has been lost throughout the years.
paganism?
Yep.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Well, you got to keep an open mind. A lot of our Christian beliefs come from pagan beliefs once upon a time.
Ah, I don't know about that. And then he just like kind of like grabs like one of his crosses that he has like on his suit. He's just like kind of obviously a little bit perturbed by that, but he'll go along with it for now.
It's like, I don't mean to offend you, nephew. Just, I'm an educated man. I look into a lot of
Yeah.
things like that at my university.
I understand as long as you as long as long as it's not betraying your allegiance to king and country, that's fine. So,
Oh, no, no, no.
of course, of course.
You definitely take after the Hudson French of our family, don't you? You're a man of action. uh, can really imagine you
Yeah,
and
most
Sue at the
people in
same
our
time.
country were um, are descendants of the Druids.
It's all
Ah, good.
old folk history from way back. Part of our roots.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I descend from pure Christian stock. That's why I fought for my country, you
Right.
know. Yeah, he's a little bit kind of like that kind of guy, but he's just here for the fun. So,
Mm.
once he gets a few drinks in him, he'll say anything. So,
Webb is trying to smile and be nice, so you can see he's kind of faltering a little.
yeah.
All right, well, everyone, if you will continue on with me past the Roseberry Hall and to, I think it's called the Brewery Close, my sister Anna and niece, they live with her husband Robert, and we'll meet there. We'll meet up with all of them before the crowning. It's a little lost for words, a little after the conversation, but he walks on ahead of you all. I guess you follow along, and
Mhm.
when you get close to the Sinclair's residence, a woman with dark hair and disheveled clothes rushes out onto the street, and she grabs Harold and begins talking to him. You can see that he's asking her what's wrong, and she's sobbing and crying. And as you get closer and catch up to Webb, you can hear him tell her, but Jenny's gone missing.
What, the Jenny who's supposed to be crowned?
Yes, my daughter.
Uh, did she have misgivings about this festival?
Oh no, she loved this festival. Please come inside. We'll talk about it inside.
Yeah, let's talk about this inside.
All right, then. This Webb's sister opens the door to their house. You see the husband, or he introduces himself as Robert Sinclair. He looks very serious and stern, maybe somewhere in his early 40s. He's very well-built frame and dark hair. You guys are led into the kitchen, and inside the kitchen table is strewn with floral garlands and stretches of fabric. A pot of soup is bubbling on the hob, and it fills the lower floor of the house with a hearty aroma. Anna just sits in the chair, and she kind of begins to break down and cry. Robert's trying to comfort her.
Mm. Eileen's going to join Robert and try to comfort her. Since Eileen is a niece of Webb's,
Hmm.
I think this she would also be related to this person, right? Like,
Yeah, correct.
okay,
Is it a cousin? Or
yeah, she would be like I think like maybe a second cousin. I don't
yeah.
know.
I imagine it's a big family, maybe only are somewhat aware of each other.
Yeah, but yeah, she would. She's gonna try to. She's gonna try to say like. Going to say like, when's the last time you saw her?
You can see that Anna, she looks like she was holding it together outside, but she's breaking down, and you kind of see she jolts up, and the chair screeches back loudly, and she begins to run upstairs. We will need a hard persuade to stop her from going up.
Hard persuade.
Yeah,
Um,
she's not in a good way. That's clear to everyone.
fortunately, Eileen is not a very good persuader, but I can try. Um, yeah, that is a massive failure.
Yeah, the tears just come down Anna's, and she doesn't even appear to have heard you, maybe, and she bolts up the door upstairs, and you hear a door slam up there, and you
Kind of been
hear
that long. Come on,
Robert just
come on
sighs. He's
now.
like, Don't worry about her. We'll find Jenny, and everything will be okay for her." Now, of course, you can
Fine,
ask me anything you
fine.
want instead of my wife. I'll hold it together while she gets her own self together.
But something must be wrong. Kind of been gone that long.
Well, she does. Anna does love Jenny, her only child. But yeah, Jenny, she went out 5 hours ago to buy some more flowers. That shouldn't have taken more than half an hour, I would say.
And to your knowledge, neither you nor your wife have seen her since.
That's true. Anna went looking for her. She went to the local florist named Agnes Baker, and Agnes claims that Jenny had never arrived. And we were out looking, but we just ended up back here, and you guys are without any idea what to do, and you guys arrived shortly after.
About how far is this florist shop from here?
Oh, it's just a short walk. Should have taken more than half an hour, as I said.
Hmm.
Is the shop along the high street?
There is a shop district where it's at.
Well, I suppose the first thing to do is form a bit more of a search party and go the way that she would have been going. See what we can see, unless you have other better ideas, sir.
I remember yesterday Jenny was playing with her friend, Tabitha McCall, another girl around her age. She was also to be one of the attendants at the Fairy Queen Parade. She lives in one of the apartments that are above those shops where the florist would be. He's
Do you
like, go ahead.
do you remember which apartment?
Yeah, we'll say it gives you the directions to the specific apartment.
Okay.
He kind of rubs his forehead, and I think she went to the rehearsal at Roseberry Hall yesterday, and everyone should have been there, like the Burry man, whoever he is, other participants. But I don't know if anyone told you, but we don't actually have any idea who the Burry man is each year, so I couldn't even tell you who to talk to.
Is this like a does she disappear, or does she get cold feet about things?
Oh no, this has never happened before.
Is she the
Right.
type to run off with her friends on a whim?
No, I didn't even. She didn't seem like she was upset about anything either.
And I guess just to confirm, you were saying she's been gone for how long?
About 5 hours.
5 hours. Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, we can ask around for sure. I mean, someone's had to have seen her, right?
Well, I hope so. It's not really that big a town, but everyone was excited with the festival, the fair.
Hmm. And did she have any like plans for later today, or what was her, I guess, agenda for the day?
Well, she was getting more flowers for a garland, and she was going to later on go be crowned the fairy queen.
Hmm. And where exactly does that ceremony happen?
It would happen out on the streets after the procession. It's just part
Okay.
of the festival and all that.
Okay.
All right, so at the far end of the parade.
Yeah. And every year some local squirrel girl gets picked, and this year was our daughter.
Has anything weird like this happened at like previous years or previous celebrations or
Oh no, definitely not. It's pretty quiet and calm here.
okay.
Have there been any strangers about?
No.
I mean, I know probably people show up today for this festivities like us. We're from out of town, but if anybody else had and been around for a few days, it's a thought. But if not, then yeah, nothing to do but search. Since we're here, I'm sure this isn't related, but since you're locals, what's the Black Castle?
That is the home of Hamish Forbes. He's a recluse. He doesn't really leave it very often. But I don't. Now that you mention his name, I don't think I've seen him for a couple weeks. But that's normal. I don't care about this person. He's not a good man. In fact, people say the children around here they say he's an evil sorcerer. That's ridiculous. That's a overstatement. But there's definitely something wrong with that guy. Yeah.
So you're saying the children are afraid of him?
Well, he's a scary old guy, lives in a spooky place. You would probably think of stories like that when you were a kid, at the haunted home of your street or whatever.
So you don't think he had anything to do with it?
Well, I would say not. He's lived here. He's quite an old man. He would have, if he goes around stealing children, he would have been doing it a long time. I think we would have noticed by now.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I just wondered because the festivities were skipping his place.
Yeah, most people do avoid him.
Mhm.
And your daughter definitely would have, right?
Yeah, I don't think she's ever made a comment on him before, but yeah, she probably wouldn't go near him. I don't know. These things are normal to us. I'm sorry if I'm not giving you good information. It's just, creepy old guy lives around here.
No, it's all good, Robert. We're just trying to get as much information as possible to get your daughter back home.
I do appreciate it. And Webb kind of elbows the burst. He's like, let's look in her room.
Which reminds me, would it be possible for us to look in Jenny's room?
Robert's like, is that really necessary to go tramping around her room?
Well,
You
if
know,
you prefer, it could just be us ladies. Although Bruce is a private detective, and I highly recommend you can let him take a look. But if you're too sensitive,
you can try persuade.
okay. At
You
least
don't,
have some persuade.
you don't feel like he's hiding anything. He just doesn't want people in her room.
Right, yeah.
To
I mean,
protect
it
her.
makes sense, but I'm like, why is it a private detective? That's what he does.
And you're a
what are you
private
trying to
detective?
hide?
Success.
Yeah.
Let
Ooh.
Bruce in.
Okay, it's a little odd that a private detective is here, but let's take advantage of it. You can go on up. Oh, he stands up and he begins to take everyone upstairs with him.
I'll decide how odd it is, Robert.
You're a terrible guest.
We're helping.
Yeah, you haven't
Yeah.
offered us a single drink since we've arrived. So.
That's true.
Amen.
They
Amen.
have soup and everything.
I have a low credit rating. Leave me alone.
Yeah, these poor people. And they've lost their daughter.
All right. All jokes aside, he leads you to the back of the property, which is Jenny's bedroom. It's a small room. It overlooks a well-tended back garden. And the first thing, what would you say? First thing it's found is a drawing. It is a drawing of a girl with a flower garden. Next to it is obviously the Burry man. I do have this as a handout. We can put this in Bruce's hands. Say you found it first. He probably walked in first. Mr. Private Detective. So that is what is in your hands, Bruce. And as he looks at it more, he sees a shadowy third figure, which is little more than black scribbles in the shape of a human.
It says, Mr. Floaty Man.
Robert kind of looks over your shoulders like, oh, Jenny does love drawing, but I've never seen that one before.
Has she ever mentioned this Mr. Floaty Man before?
Oh, no, definitely not. I don't remember something as creepy as that. Good Lord. And he crosses himself.
Eileen's gonna take a closer look at it, and she's gonna ask Bruce if you can hold it for a second.
Yeah.
She's gonna kind of like get a closer look at the floaty man, then like kind of hold the paper, push the paper like kind of away from her to see if anything happens. Could I make an occult roll?
You may, yeah. you think you remember something, but it's just on the tip of your mind, and it just goes away.
She's gonna hand it back to Bruce.
I guess, Robert, does this picture like resemble anything around town? Like, is that a bridge in the background, or are those just like a kid's drawings of some diamonds in the horizon?
Just looking at it. Well, if you go off the blue lines, I believe it's the water, the ocean. That's my best guess.
But nothing like particular stands out.
Um, no, I mean I'm a fisherman, so maybe she thinks of the water because of that.
Okay.
Well, I've never spoke about any Mr. Floaty Man, I can assure you of that.
It could be the kids may have made up their own boogeyman. Perhaps we
Yes.
should go speak to a child.
All right, and you will say you found the second handout because none of this required a roll. There is a letter. Maybe one of you could have been rifling about as you were talking. Let's see.
Miss from Miss J. Gillespie, South Queensferry Primary School, Burgess Road, South Queensferry. The 6th of June, 1923. Dear Jenny, it is wonderful to see it is wonderful to see you show such an interest in history and all things old and fascinating. Isn't it amazing to know that there are places all around us that are so ancient where people once lived and went about their lives? I was wondering if you would be interested in joining the History Society. It isn't some stuffy old thing filled with dusty old books and boring lessons. I think it's something that you would enjoy very much, especially as you will soon be the Fairy Queen. If you would like to talk about the History Society, talk to me after class, and I'll be delighted to tell you more. Yours sincerely, J. Gillespie, Headmistress.
But Robert has like a notable look of confusion on his face, and he says, she never showed us either my wife or the I or this. Jenny often finds these kind of things stuffy and boring, I always thought.
It seemed she developed some sort of an interest in history, or maybe just local history. Uh, do you know if she stayed after school at some point to talk to someone?
Oh, that would probably be a better question for Anna, but she's not in a great state. I mean, I'm usually
Hmm.
out, usually out in the waters at that time.
Mhm. And then J. just Gillespie, that's the headmistress at the school that Jenny goes to.
Yes, I know of her.
Okay. And have you heard of this History Society before, or is this the first time?
Well, I'm aware it exists, but I've, never had any interest in it myself, or did I think anyone here did, but clearly I was wrong.
Hmm.
Do you know of where this group meets at?
Well, I would assume the school.
Ah, right.
I know I was never much for after school clubs myself.
And I guess speaking of school, do you know, is school going on today, or is it like considered a holiday where the kids are let out?
Oh, they're all let out to enjoy the festival.
Uh-huh. So like school probably wouldn't be open.
Yeah, you'd have to he just kind of looks around, you'd have to break in probably. But I don't know if that's normal, the private
Hmm.
detective work.
Do you know where this headmistress may reside when she's not doing the schooling?
I don't think I do. I assume she lives in town somewhere.
Hmm.
All right, and once they finally are looking around, you do notice one more thing. I don't have a handout for this, but there is a distinctive seashell that's shaped like a piece of barley. And we just say Robert says it catches one of your eyes, and he says, those are shells they're found on the a stretch of beach is opposite the Black Castle. I guess she picked it up while she was out there.
Stretch of beach, you say?
Yeah,
Haven't seen a shell like that. Was it?
you just shrugs it there, just all over that beach there.
Eileen will kind of examine it a little closer, then set it back down.
Yeah, it's just a unique looking seashell. There's nothing untoward about it.
Well, even so, do you mind if we take it?
Well, suit yourself. She can always
Like,
get another one when you find her. It's not a problem. So he's like, Mr. Private Detective, how good do you think your chances are of finding my daughter?
I guarantee you that we'll have your daughter back.
Mhm. He looks you pretty hard in the eye, and then he He offers his hand,
I shake his hand.
gives you a very strong handshake. I do appreciate it. We don't have much, but if you will pay you, or and you hear Harold like, no, 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 I will take care of whatever fees he requires.
Good, because I'm very expensive, as Harold knows.
And we'll say he shows you all back downstairs, and well, I guess you have your leads to follow up. I do appreciate what you're doing for us. Let me know if you need anything from my wife or I, and then hopefully not days to come, but if you need us, we're here.
Right.
No,
So where to first, y'all?
All right, you're all standing outside with Harold, and Harold just looks very sad and gloomy. He's like, guys, I'm so sorry.
this was supposed to be a vacation, Harold.
Yeah. And another person, another young woman has gone missing. And I'm involved yet again. Like I'm cursed. It just feels like there's some kind of darkness. It's not leaving me alone or something. I don't even have words.
Feel for that, Uncle. Find her.
I hope so. Hopefully you can find her quickly and enjoy the rest of the vacation. So how do you want me to do this, guys? Do you want me to come along? You want me to leave you alone? What do you want from me? What can I do?
What would we get? I figure Harold could just hang out here, but I don't know what you guys think.
Well, it seems like Anne could use some comforting. Don't know if you're really good at that, Harold, but you're probably better for it than the rest of us.
She is my sister. I probably do have a brotherly duty here, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe if you can see if you can get any like extra information out of her, since she seems to be more of the at-home parent.
Yes, if she comes out, you could always ask her about the after-school activities over the last few days.
All right, that's a good idea. I'll console her, and I will gently probe her to see if she will give any information. I can't promise anything. And yeah, like Robert, I do appreciate what you guys are doing, and I guess I will meet up with you again later. Harold walks back inside, leaving you all there. You do have a few leads. If you need me to repeat anything, let me know. Otherwise, the town is yours to figure out what's next.
Oh no, not a whole open town.
Whole town, sir. You're the fire protector, remember? Where'd that confidence go?
Now that I'm not trying to sell my services.
Yes, that was some very big claims you made there, Mr. Newsome. Hope you're up to it.
I was talking out of my butt, you guys. I have no hope for this girl.
Oh my. Well, let's not go there. She may be
Eileen just
fine
kind of
yet.
scoffs at that. She's like, "Oh, come on,
I know.
don't
You're
be
right,
like that."
I gotta be confident, and we can do this.
Tis fine, Mr. Newsome. I shall hold the whole of the hope of this team on my shoulders, which are quite broad, as you can see. And then he flexes.
Thank you. That brings a lot of comfort to me.
Yeah.
I know there's the whole fairy queen thing. Did they happen to mention what time that was supposed to occur?
I don't think they did. Just maybe in a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if
but
it's at the end of the Burry man's walk,
Yeah.
he walks real slow through the town, and probably slower the drunker he gets.
Yep.
Okay.
They did give us the that one girl's location, right? Like her friend, where that
Mhm.
apartment is.
Yes, her friend.
Yeah. So that's one lead.
Yeah, I think Eileen could probably follow that lead because she's a young woman. She looks even younger than she actually is. So might be best if she follows that one. If we want to split up, because I figure if we split up, we could follow like different leads kind of all at the same time, and then we could reconvene. Maybe at the house.
Mhm.
I don't know how you feel
Aye.
about that.
Aye, 'tis a smart idea.
Okay. I know one thing that I was a little interested in is the Mr. Floaty Man picture. And I think also because we found the seashell. I have because Robert mentioned that type of seashell was by the beach that's near Black Castle, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So part of me wonders if there's a connection over there.
So he told us where the florist shop was that she was supposedly headed for, right? Did it happen to take her past the Black Castle?
Yeah, according to the map, everything's pretty much just on a road that you walk. You guys are at yeah, you guys pretty much were walking a straight road. Then where Harold took you was the Sinclair residence, which went down south a little ways out. It's suffice to say everything in this place that you're at is all within walking distance, all fairly easy to get to.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, either way, I'm up for whatever. I mean, I can't imagine there's too much danger afoot. So if we want to split up to kind of gather as much information as possible, I'm up for that as well.
Hmm.
Yes, I suppose I could try to track down this Miss Gillespie.
We have Theo wanting to go to the school, I guess.
How and Bruce
Hmm.
says this in like a low voice, like, Theo, how are you familiar with breaking and entering?
Oh yes,
Okay.
quite.
Okay, good.
Maybe you think back to all the breaking and entering you did with her last time you were at her.
Yeah, that's true.
Broke
That's
into
true.
what, a curio shop at a warehouse.
I barely remember where I am at any given minute, so
All right, so if Theo is tracking down the Miss Gillespie, that will clearly lead to the school, which they learned about. Who's going along with you?
Figure Ellis can go just in case there's any trouble,
Okay.
because it's locked up and everything.
All right, then that will leave Eileen and Bruce. What do you wish to do?
I think Eileen will try to find her friend. What's her
Okay,
friend's name?
Tabitha McCall.
Tabitha.
all right. Bruce will accompany Eileen.
All right. So you were all given the address to Tabitha by Robert at their homes above the shops. You do come across the home. Do you knock or do you wait? What's your plan?
I think Eileen's going to knock at the door, see if anyone's home.
All right, maybe a minute goes by, and then the door opens, and you look down and you see a diminutive young girl with dark brown hair. She smiles up at you. It's like, yes,
Says
miss.
she says, "Hello there. My name is Eileen. I'm a cousin of Jenny's.
Oh, Jenny, yeah,
Hmm.
she's the queen.
Have you seen her today?
Well, no, I was gonna see her later when she gets crowned.
There's been a little problem. Um, we
Problem?
don't quite know where she's at.
What do you mean you don't know where she's at?
Um, maybe we could ask you some questions.
You can kind of see that she was friendly for a second there, then she kind of just shuts up, stops talking, looks at me with wide eyes.
Not like that. She's my cousin, and we're just making sure that she's ready and that everything goes well. She just kind of gives a smile.
Mm. She's not very receptive. Either of you want to try a social role here?
I'm gonna try a charm roll.
Okay.
Oh no, it's a failure.
Yeah. Clearly she's like you get the feeling she's not holding anything back. You just kind of scared her with that. She's very worried. She looks at Bruce and she's about to shut the door, Bruce. What are you doing?
Hmm.
I'll give you one chance to make an action.
Um, I
Yeah.
will say, I'll mention like the floaty man and see if that catches her attention. Like, you know, what the floaty man's got her. I don't know, just to see if that like kind of perks her ears or anything.
It's like the floaty man? The hell is a floaty man? Pardon my language.
Listen here, young missy. Yeah, you don't know about the floaty man? I thought everyone in town knew about the floaty man.
No.
Hmm. Well, that's who we're. I don't know. I'm not good with talking to children.
I mean, this is essentially a fast talk. Go ahead.
Yeah. You know, that's we're looking for the floaty man, and Jenny always we hear he hangs out by like like the beach or water. And we had heard Jenny maybe goes by and sees him, and so maybe we're just trying to find this floaty man guy, and we thought maybe like one of you kids might know.
You gonna roll your fast talk?
Yes, I'll roll the fast
All
one.
right.
So dazed in my own. Ugh. Mm,
Would you like to push the roll?
yes, I'll push the roll.
All right.
I'll start like hopping around, trying to, paint a picture with my body language about the floaty man and him skulking around and just looking like a complete nut job.
Okay.
She's gonna like kind of cringe and like glance away, kind of half covering her face.
Digging real deep into my inner child right now.
Holy crap.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
nice.
Oh,
Extreme
you did it.
success.
You did
This
it.
this is the language of children, all right.
No, you can tell
Yes.
she doesn't understand what this floating man is, but she just starts laughing hysterically. She was like so amused by your performance. She's just dying laughing. Like, well, why didn't you lead with that? Come on, that was so much better than the floaty man. All right,
Yeah. Give me a break, kid.
well, I don't. It's and she's fine. The laughter. She has tears coming out of her eyes. She starts wiping her eyes. She's like, well, last time I saw Jenny, it was yesterday at Roseberry Hall. Uh, David Fergusman asked Jenny and the Burry man to stay behind after rehearsal, but nobody told me why.
Hmm. And what's his involvement in this whole thing?
He's some like, government guy.
Hmm.
Oh, the council. He's head of the council. I don't really fully understand what that is.
No, that's
I just heard mom saying those damn council people
hmm.
always think they know what's what.
All right.
Are you gonna find Jenny if she's missing?
I promise
Yeah.
you. Promise you
Yeah.
we'll find Jenny.
Thank you, miss, and funny guy. Right? And then we will jump over to the other two. What is your plan to find Gillespie? You're going to the school, or I'm not sure we have a plan first.
I mean, yes, at this point, I think we definitely need to go to the school and see what's there. There might be some record of where she is there.
Hmm.
We could also just, ask locals, but at this
Mhm.
point, someone has put the idea of in Theo's head of breaking into this school, and she's down.
Oh yeah.
So
Way too excited.
Also, time is of the essence. Like we need to hurry up because this person's already been missing for like 5 hours. So like no time to be
Exactly.
asking around. So
Yeah, she's a kid.
Okay,
Can't
so
find her.
you two don't ask anyone, but the school is a public building, so it's fairly easy to find. It's situated on Burgess Road. It is closed down, as you were told, and there's nobody around, it seems. It's up to you whether how stealthy you wish to be. It is a small town. It's possible someone's there to see you. You can forego a stealth roll, or you can make one. I'll leave it up to you.
I think Theo would just, nonchalantly wander back to the back of the building. Like, oh, just kind of casually looking around.
Mhm.
Not trying to, specifically sneak away from anyone, but also just like trying to act like she belongs.
Yep, I'm not gonna tell you whether you need a stealth roll or not. I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to make one or no?
Nope.
Okay. How about you, Ellis? You gonna make a stealth roll, or you're just gonna nonchalantly follow
uh,
through?
Ellis he does not need stealth. If he gets into a problem, he'll figure his way out of it. So
All right. So we went to the back. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. And if you were to check the door is of course locked.
Yep.
I
And
will need a lock strength or strength. Somebody just wants to kick it over.
wee
Let's see.
lassie, do you have the ability to unlock this door, or should I have to get involved with me muscles here?
Well, let's see. I'll give the picks a try first. I have done this a time or two before.
Oh, aye. Play just
Hard
stands back.
success.
There you go. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, she
Yep.
pulls out a couple of little pins and just pops that lock right open.
Yep. Does not appear to
Yeah.
even have made a sound. It was almost perfect. The door
Ellis
just-
is impressed, but also sad he didn't get to use his muscles. So
Well, there's
bittersweet.
3 sessions, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be time.
There will be times, yeah.
All right, as you two get inside of the school, you see that it consists of 3 classrooms. One is a canteen room with a small kitchen attached. And the other 2 rooms are for teachers. One is a staff room, and the other, it clearly is the office of the headmistress, Janet Gillespie, as it says on the door.
Well, I'm interested in finding out about this history society too, but if she's in charge of it, she might have the paperwork for that as well. So I think we should proceed to her office first, eh?
I agree.
All right. You get to the office door, and you are greeted once again by a locked door.
Oh, another one. Well,
Ladies
Yes.
first, and he just moves out of the way.
yes, I'll give it a try, and then if not, we always have your muscles.
Aye.
Failure.
Yep. This time it's not as smooth, and you hear the
Mm.
unmistakable sound of it not turning, the little click.
It's a trickier one.
That's all right. I'm here for just these kind of circumstances.
All right, give me that
I
strength
have
roll.
physical dice. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can roll physical dice. Both are allowed.
32. I think that's a success. I'm fairly sure on a strength roll. Oh yeah, that's a, what do you call it? A half success. Yep.
Hard success.
Yeah.
All right, you can put
Just-
those muscles to work. I don't know if you shoulder barged it or kicked it, but either way, it pops open.
Yeah.
But of course, you did use physical force, so there was a noise. Fairly
Well,
sure
we're
noise
already
around.
inside,
Yeah,
so probably nobody heard that.
probably. All right, the door is open, and inside there's a desk and a bookcase, as well as a vase of red roses. And next to that, you see a photograph of a spry, gray-haired woman that presumably is Gillespie on a sailboat. Her desk is very neatly arranged with a set of pens and notepaper.
Right, let's get to searching. Theo's gonna look through everything. Gonna look for any record of where this lady lives in case we need to speak to her, and then also anything about the History Society.
Okay, I don't require any
Yeah.
further rolls yet. You see the dress has 2 drawers, and and you might be getting tired of this, but the drawer is locked.
All right,
Mm.
a locked drawer.
Hmm.
Success.
All right.
Nice.
This one is much simpler, and it just pops out, and the inside is a bundle of documents, and they appear to be minutes of a series of meetings. There is an attendee list. It is Joseph McCallan, David Ferguson, Hamish Forbes, and Gillespie herself. This is what you find, Theo.
Meeting of South Queens Ferry History Society, Sunday, 8th July, Rosebery Hall. Present, Joseph McCallum, the president, David Ferguson, the treasurer, Hamish Forbes, ordinary member, Janet Gillespie, secretary. Meeting minutes and memoranda. Welcome and greetings. JG gave an update on latest recruitment efforts. All noted that alternative methods are likely to be required. Preparations for the ferry fair. JM noted that all is in order. DF updated the society as to the cessation of activities on the dates of the fair, so as to ensure smooth sailing. Archaeological marvels of May. JM gave a presentation of finds at the Isle of May, including runic translations. HF reminded the society members of the perils prior to Incoln. JM acknowledged the risk and assured all that the seas would be calm on the day of the crowning. Other business. JG gave an update on her studies and research and provided a demonstration. HF assured all that the cross was safe and would not interfere with the merriment. What in the world? Ellis, what have we come across?
I don't like the second thing you said with the alternative methods. That
Yes.
worries me.
Why?
What
Why are they required to get new members? What?
and where that might be what happened. They might have took her for something. You said runic translations and And some sort of demonstration? I'm worried about dare I say, an occult ritual, even?
Well, how can they assure that the seas would be calm? There's something very strange happening here.
Ellis just crosses himself really quickly.
And can I get a spot hidden from both of you?
Okay. Fail.
Success.
All right. And then as you were talking there, I caught your eye, Theo. You noticed that the drawer had signs that it has a false bottom.
Oh, look. Poke, poke, poke.
And
Oh.
Lift it up.
And then inside there is a journal.
It is as if my whole life's purpose has been to discover these secrets. Although I firmly believe I have my own pure femininity to thank, I am grateful also to Joseph. The things he has uncovered on the isle were the keys to unlock the secrets I have always held within. The ancient Norse rites spoke to me across the centuries, as though whispered by a fellow Wiccan practitioner. I have added Freya to my list of daily devotions. Blessed be. April 1923. The feeling is like nothing I have ever felt. Goddesses, the power of it. Today I discovered another incantation, a rite, one which allows the witch to project a version of herself across great distances, to fool those who may wish to persecute her. Joseph was pleased. He thinks it may be useful when the time comes, particularly if my attempts to persuade the little one come to naught. From my understanding, the incantation requires me to focus my mind while staring at my own reflection by candlelight. Then, upon reciting the words,
You don't have to read them if you don't want to.
yeah, I think the in
Yeah.
character Ellis would be scared of
Yeah.
reading an incantation like
Right.
that, so he's just gonna skip over like, all of this is worth the sacrifice I have made. To think I once thought myself unfortunate to have been a spinster all my days. Instead, I was keeping myself a pure vessel. My God, she's a witch. And she has the little girl. It says so right here.
It does seem to be that they may have had plans on that, you know, sort of idea, but they also seem to want the crowning to go ahead, so why would they snatch her before then? Hmm?
I don't know their purposes, but I think we need to find this Gillespie woman somewhere.
And Theo, I'd like to point out to you, you have previous experience with spells. You know that if you sat down with this book and read it, you could probably learn how to do this thing she's talking about where she can project herself.
Ooh, interesting. Do I think that that might be what a Mr. Floaty Man is a projection?
No.
Okay.
All right, I think we'll leave you there for now. We left the other two for a while.
Mhm.
You guys just got that information. Have you thought about what you wish to do next? So we move back to Eileen and Bruce.
Eileen will basically, as they're walking down from the apartment, Eileen will say, "Mr. Newsome, that was really brilliant. Pardon the language."
Oh, thank you. I'm glad. Sometimes I have a spur of the moment genius.
So they mentioned, she mentioned Mr. Ferguson, right, David?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mr. Ferguson, and also whoever's playing the Burry man. They seem to be the last ones to have seen Jenny last night, or earlier today.
I think Eileen will mention that they're probably say, "Remember when we saw the Burryman? You think Mr. Ferguson might be the one helping the Burryman walk, or maybe he's the Burryman himself."
Hmm. He might be one of the attendants helping the Burryman. My guess is he's probably not the same person as the Burryman, just based off of the Tabitha statement that we got.
Right. Wonder, maybe I could ask them for another photo, and as I'm doing that, maybe you could get a question or two in.
Yeah, that sounds great. I like that.
Are you just gonna ask people around town, or
Well, I think Eileen was suggesting like if we could track down the Burry man,
oh,
right?
Yeah, he's like slow moving and he follows a certain course, so it shouldn't be hard to track him.
that would be probably spot hidden, I guess, as you try to figure out where he got to.
Sure, I can do a roll. I've gotta succeed at a roll eventually. Okay, there it is.
All right. Eileen leads you along, Bruce, and she's got the trail of the that she was ready. Wasn't very hard to find after all. He seems to be ending his he seems like he's ended his walk and he has ended up at a local tavern. Yes, he's at the Fairy Tavern is where you find him. It's pretty much right next door to the Black Castle as that draws your eye. He walks inside and disappears. The tavern is quite busy.
Okay. Eileen, how do you want to approach this?
Um, I think that Eileen will try to like come in and ask for another photo. And while she like kind of has their attention and she has them posing for a bit, maybe Bruce could come in and just start asking like about David Ferguson.
Okay.
Um, I think like she would try to defer like the questions to like Bruce because he's like the private eye and that's kind of what he's supposed to do. So she'll just be focused on distracting them with the pretext of a photo.
All right, you meet a young man who's drinking there, and he's. Are you asking this? Are you going along with this, Bruce? Actually, ask first.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Yes, the young man is drinking, and he's like, thinks, and he's like, yeah, Ferguson's the head of the Bird Council in Roseberry Hall. But Roseberry Hall is closed right now because of the fair, and nobody knows where Ferguson is. He's supposed to announce the winners of the children's dress contests later.
Okay. Um, we heard that, Ferguson asked you and one of the young girls involved in the whole program, Jenny, to stay later after everyone left less.
What do you mean, ask me? I had nothing to do with it.
Well, not to bore you with the details, but the girl's gone missing, and we are trying to just track her down before, just make sure she's safe. I'm sure she's just out playing as kids do, or just kind of getting up to stuff, but we're just trying to track her down. And if you could help us, that'd be appreciated.
The the Fairy Queen has gone missing. Sir, I am not the Burry man.
Oh, hmm. Well, where's the berry man?
I think as you ask that, I will take a spot hidden from you, Bruce.
Check. Success.
All right, as you look around, you think, "Where's the Burry man?" You just barely see on someone's left shoe one of those sticky burrs was left behind. And this person is drinking with about three other friends around their age. They appear to be 20 or so. But his drink is just in his hand, and he's not drinking. They're very drunk, and they're quite still very rockish or yelling or having a good time. He's just
Hmm.
sitting there, his hands on his drink, staring ahead.
This is the berry man.
The guy who he has a sticky burr on his left shoe. That's all that
Huh.
remains of the took as he quickly took it off.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go approach him.
He doesn't really seem to respond to you, and his friends are too busy yelling and carrying on the care.
Um,
At this point, Eileen is going to like kind of push her way through, and she's gonna say, "Hello, I'm a photographer. Do you mind if I got a photograph?"
He just kind of looks at you with blank eyes and he
Gives them a smile,
shrugs. He's
and then
he's about 21. He's fairly good looking and doesn't really seem to be like very animated. I guess the word I'm looking for. He's just kind of disinterested.
okay, she's gonna like kind of draw their attention, set up a camera, and then gonna take the photo.
Right? He doesn't really even react. His eyes don't even seem to blink at you.
All right, and she's gonna look at like the the Burryman's two friends. How are they looking? They looking toasty too, or a little less drunk?
No, they're like the opposite of him. They're completely drunk, carrying on, having a good time. Like what you
Okay,
would kind of expect from people here.
right. Right. She might not be able to get that much information from them if they're all drunk.
Hmm. Well, we'll give it a try anyway. I mean, I'll tap the man who I think is the Burry man and just say, hey, are you the Burry man?
Hmm. He looks at you and he finally blinks once. He's like, and
I'll just, hey, we're looking for a young girl named Jenny. Do you remember her? She
of
was
course, the fairy queen, of course.
yeah, she was last seen with you and David Ferguson. Do you remember?
She was at the rehearsal.
Yeah, David Ferguson asked you and Jenny to stay late. Do you know what it was for?
He was just worried about things happening. I left before Jenny left.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
And he shrugs. I don't know where she is at now. I mean, I
Okay.
barely talked to the girl. It just was just the fairy queen.
Okay. And the last place you saw her was with David Ferguson.
I suppose so.
Okay. Do you happen to know where David Ferguson might be now?
No idea. I thought, isn't he getting ready for some children's thing?
Children's thing, what do you mean?
He, he's supposed to do something like, oh, the fancy dress contest, I guess. Uh,
I don't know. I don't, that's all I got, Eileen.
yeah, he's very like shut down. He's barely speaking, and you can tell that he's actually sober. He doesn't actually seem to have drunk anything, despite hearing that he's supposed to drink whiskey from the taverns and all that.
Yeah, how are you still sober?
Well, I didn't drink anything. That's all. I just pretended.
What?
He shrugs again. "Hmm, what's it to you?"
I don't know. Isn't that like going against the spirit of the festival?
That finally gets a laugh from him. He's like, it's just a silly festival, sir.
Hmm. All right, all right.
Well, now we know who we have to blame for all the bad luck that's about to
I guess as we leave, I'll tell him you better watch any bad stuff happens in this town, we're looking at you, Barry man.
All right.
And I don't know. Yeah, I guess unless there's anything else you'd like to do, Eileen, I guess we can. I guess that's all my questions.
Yeah, I don't think Eileen would have anything else to say.
All right, you'll see you both see a middle-aged man, maybe somewhere in his 50s, walk up to you. He's got a very weathered face and he's scowling, and as you're leaving, he kind of almost bumps into you and he looks at you as, are you two new in town?
Um, Eileen will just kind of nod and she'll look down at her camera, which is kind of hanging around her neck, make sure he didn't jostle it or anything, and then she's gonna say, "Yes, sir." And what's it to you?
I don't know. I just looking for my son and I saw you two and I thought I'd say hi, I suppose. Sorry, my way.
Wait a minute. Looking for your son.
Yeah, he should be in here. He's usually drunk enough.
Uh, she kind of nods and says, "Yeah, lots of drunk young men in there. I I took some photographs. Just just a tourist, I guess."
All right. And he just attempts to walk past you.
I guess can I uh can I call out to him?
Yeah, you can stop before he leaves, I guess.
Yeah, I'll stop him. I'll just ask him. Hey, we're looking for David Ferguson. Do you happen to know? Have you seen him?
No, he's been missing. Nobody seems to be able to locate him.
He's been missing since when?
I don't know. I think it's just today.
Mm-hmm.
He might be hiding out at Roseberry Hall. I don't know. I don't rarely go down there.
Okay. Do you think? I mean, like, not to be alarmist, but like, do you think this has anything to do with like him missing? We just heard a couple things here and there about people missing. Do you think this has anything to do with your son? Like, has he been gone like all day as well, or?
My son's probably at this tavern. He's not missing.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Can't be too careful, sir. And at that I let him go on his merry way.
All right, then he walks inside. So we can jump back to the other two. You are in the school. You just had that conversation.
Yeah, Theo absolutely takes this journal and the last couple meeting minutes and stuffs them into her jacket.
Did we check the other you said there were like two drawer like was there anything else in the room that we didn't see, basically?
You saw this room. There was, I think, two other rooms. I said, yeah,
No?
there was a three rooms in the school.
Okay.
One's a kitchen, one's a staff room, and that one's the office.
Probably check the staff room for some
Yeah.
school records to see if it says where her home is.
All
Mhm.
right. Oh, so there are three classrooms. I bet as well. It's the three rooms. Of course, there's classrooms in the school.
Yeah.
All right. As you go into the staff room, it seems like you're wanting all this information, but they seem like there's very little, anything that contains very little interest beyond some writing on a blackboard, and it just shows they've been learning about the history of the fairy fair. So that seems to be a bust.
Well, I guess in a small town, everybody knows everybody already. Maybe they don't need so many records.
Aye.
Of course, it's also possible that she's at this festival or doing something nefarious, in which case she wouldn't be home anyway. If it had anything to do with Jenny disappearing.
So are you thinking we ought to go back to the festival and ask people around where they think she is, or?
Well, at least we know what she looks like now, and point to the photo.
Hmm. True. True.
So we can keep an eye out, and yeah, we can certainly ask around, see if anyone's seen her or either of these several other people. We don't know what they look like, but they
Hmm.
must be prominent fellas. Perhaps we can meet back up with the others.
Aye. Sounds like a plan to me. All right, so I guess we just fill out of the school then.
Mhm.
All right, as you guys leave, there's a man seems to be looking out for someone. He has a very large mustache and receding hair. As you look at him closer, he's clearly wearing a constable outfit.
Hmm. I pull Theo aside. I'm like, how do we go about this? You think?
Well, I think perhaps we just walk the other direction.
Smart lass, smart lass. So we start walking the other direction from the cop.
Well, if you want to finally do that stealth roll, he's gonna catch you. It's up to you.
Ooh.
It's clear he's looking around the building, and you would have caught his eye.
I mean, I can try it. It wouldn't be great odds, but
He's just looking around. He doesn't have he's not like a gun in his hand, in high alert or anything. He's just looking. So
okay.
set the scene appropriately. He's not...
Uh, honestly, I think I could have better luck talking my way out of it than moving my large self stealthily around this building.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so I'm
Uh,
just I'm gonna go confront them. Yeah, just
He just says to you, he's like, I heard people were looking around here, just making sure nothing was going on.
oh, no worries, officer. No worries, officer. I was in the service. Were you?
That I was.
Ah, which branch? Which branch?
Oh crap. I guess wait, I was in the trenches there, as you see.
You were in the trenches. I was on the high seas. His
Ah,
Majesty's Royal Navy. Yes, it's dark times, but it's better now. I'm down here visiting for the festival. You know, the festival that's going on here. My uncle, I came with him.
okay, all right. You haven't been inside the school, have you?
Oh, this school here?
There any other school in town?
Oh, I don't know. As I just said, I'm a visitor, so I wouldn't know. Uh, don't I don't remember so. I have been hitting the bottle a little bit, you know. Once we get back to shore, we hit the bottle a little bit, so I might have wandered around the building. I'm not sure if I went inside, though. I don't think so. But if there is anybody inside, I'll be sure to help you out if you need to make them scram, you know. Us servicemen need to be looking out for each other, and you give them a little pat on the arm, you know.
Mm, well, as long as you're sure you haven't been inside, but What brings you here then, anyways?
Oh, like I said, it's the festival. Me uncle, he invited me over. He said it would be a nice time, have a couple of drinks with the lads and go explore the city. Y'all have some very interesting traditions here, I'm told, with the Burry man and the fairy queen and all that.
I suppose we're at the point where do you want to roll fast talk or do you just want to see what he does?
I'm kind of just rolling with the punches at this point. We'll see we'll see if he gets wise to it. I
Like, well,
suppose I don't want to roll anything right now because like, worst comes to worst, it's like, it's like,
yeah, you can
yeah,
see that he's okay. Since you didn't make any roll, you can see that he's just playing along. He doesn't really believe that you didn't go inside, but he doesn't seem to. He
care
appears to be
care that much.
friendly. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine then. Okay. Yeah, that's fine then. I don't want to push my luck.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's say I don't believe you, but I think you might have been looking for something. Just tell me what that is. If there's something going on in my town, I'd like to know it.
Oh,
You're a Navy
well,
man. I'll take your word for now.
Mr. Officer, there is something I have to tell you then. And and I must admit to you, while I have been hitting the bottle, I think I did go into the school. And here's what I'll tell you.
Okay.
So, there's this girl, the fairy queen. She's gone missing, okay?
She's that that's
She's gone missing. I'm not
not
sure that it's been reported to you yet, but it's only been for the 5 hours since she went out in the morning to collect flowers. And I was searching for her, right? And I thought there might be information at the school, right? Like maybe she had planned to go to a festival or some little gathering with her friends beforehand. And I found some startling information while I was inside. And then I show him the journal entry, right, which I still have on me.
okay.
Yeah.
He will look through and he begins to read it and he's looking at you and he's like, all right, so this little girl's missing. You go looking for her, but why are you looking for her?
Oh, well, she's actually a relative of mine, right?
Ah,
Because my uncle's sister, so that would make her my cousin. And either way, when a little wee child has gone missing, it is the duty of every able-bodied, good Englishman to do everything in their powers to try to help. And so I decided to, with some other people who are going looking around town, to go looking for her. And I've come upon this information, and I believe it is leading to me to believe that the head mistress of the school might be involved in her disappearance, which is a very startling discovery.
all right, all right. I'm willing to overlook you breaking into the school. This is important. I wish you would have came to the police right away. I don't understand why you went off on your own.
It's my adventurous instinct. I apologize. It's
All
led
right.
me to good and bad decisions. I
And
suppose this is somewhere in the middle.
Theo, where are you at? Did you stay behind her?
Oh, I'm just standing standing with him.
Okay. I didn't know if you were
Yeah,
hiding or no,
just
No,
standing behind me. Yeah.
and he looks
yeah,
at Theo and he looks back at Alice. He's like, "Are there any more of you I should be aware of?"
Oh, not
not
in here.
here, no.
No,
It's
not in
just
here.
us.
Okay, so it's just the two of you looking for the girl, Jenny.
Well, I'm sure that the parents have recruited other people as well who at first when they realized she wasn't there, they were quite distraught, as you can imagine. Uh, Apparently too distraught to have sought you out, but they were, you know, telling their, well, the mother was telling her brother, and we just happened to be there, and there were other folks there as well. So there may be people scouring your town looking for a little girl, but I don't see how that's a bad thing. Hopefully she's found already and everything's fine.
All right, I'm gonna keep this, and she handed it to him. He just puts it in his pocket.
Oh,
Oh, dang. Well,
but,
but what? He looks at you.
well, we were going to go try to find Miss Gillespie, so
I
I'd
am
like
the
to give it
police
back to
madam,
her.
so am I. I'm going to go question the parents. I'm gonna start an official investigation.
uh, but sir, this is a matter of the utmost the time is of the utmost importance right now. She's been missing for 5 hours now. There's no telling what could happen throughout the rest of the day. By the time you get an investigation started, it may already be over.
Well, there's a proper way to do things, and it does not involve citizens breaking into the school. I'm letting us go. This is we don't deal with crime here very often. Most of my time, I'm just helping out the populace. This is why I'm letting a lot of this slide. But
Mr. Officer, do you have a child, a wee child?
I do not.
Do you have a wife?
I do.
What if she were to go missing? Would you put down everything to go looking for her?
I would start an official investigation, then I could look for her.
But you would also be looking for her at the same time the official investigation is going on, is kind of what I'm getting at.
Well, of course. What do you think an investigation is?
Well, but like you would also put your personal effort into it, right? Like
Yes.
it would, yeah, exactly. So that's why we're putting our personal effort into it. And if an official investigation is also going on at the same time, that's a good thing. I'm just saying that we've already gotten started and we have leads, and we could help the police with our leads.
Excuse me, are you a private investigator or do you know one?
Oh, I do know one, yes.
Surprisingly, we do, yes.
You know a private investigator?
Yes.
What is it from behind? Is like, was somebody asking for a private investigator?
Oh, it's Bruce. Hello,
There he is. There he
Bruce.
is.
He was
What-
there too, so of course he's helping.
Okay, so you were aware of this person, even though you just said you weren't. There wasn't anybody else.
Well, we didn't
he
think of it
wasn't
until you
inside.
asked specifically for a
you
private
asked?
investigator. Yeah, he wasn't here with us. He didn't go
Yeah.
to school.
He must have been looking for us. We all split up, you know.
All right, Alexa Bruce, you're a private detective.
Yes.
I'm going to be looking in to see if your license is valid after this. You understand?
I understand all the yapping coming out of your mouth, cop. But just be guaranteed that I am the real McCoy.
I see. You just don't know what to say to that. Right. Well, as I said, I'm going to start an investigation. If you want to go play amateur detective with this guy, you may. Just, we'll be breaking into people's homes and stuff.
Oh no, of course not. I'd never do
No.
that.
Never again, you mean?
But we
This
will
isn't a
tell
home.
Oh, we're
It's a
being that
public
specific, are we?
Wait, what did out of character? What did the
Hmm?
constable take from?
the
He took
diary
the
entry.
journal.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
diary entry.
It was handed to him, to be fair. He didn't actually steal it.
It seemed like a good decision at the time, but
Yeah, it was very sad.
Hmm.
Hey, we could say wherever you were at. Maybe you paused the 5 minutes to wait to come in. You saw him take it, so you're aware that he took it there.
Okay. Can I like try and get it back? Just be like, oh, like just I don't know, use some mumbo jumbo. Like this is like unlawful seizure, and you don't have the right to take it, even if Article 1 of Paragraph 5 of
We
the
don't
law.
ever actually do this. Give me a law roll.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever rolled that. Go for it.
Based off the laws of Scotland.
I'm happy to
based
make a
off the
law
unwritten
roll.
constitution, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Are you doing anything with that? The pushing could lead to consequences. Make this guy who's been rather fair about this not so fair about it. It's up to you.
Wait, how out of character? How important is this diary, do you guys feel?
To my character, like only in that it like is a lead, but like he's basically internalized the important information. I think
Yeah,
Theo would like it for the
Theo wants
occult
the
stuff.
spell, but it would be good if Bruce at least, had actually read it.
Okay.
I mean, they already have the information, so technically its importance is spent unless somebody wants to learn that spell. Like out of game is the use of
Yeah.
it.
I'm
It's fine.
seduced by this promise of
All
witch
right.
magic. All right, I'm gonna push the roll.
Okay, you're gonna turn
And-
this guy against you if you fail. That's my foreshadowing.
Uh-oh.
You know what? Because you can't spend luck on a push roll, right?
No.
No, you
It's
spend
one or
luck
the
you
other.
push. Yeah. That's a lot of luck to spend. I would not recommend that.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely gonna need that for the other 2 sessions.
Yeah.
I have 0 luck after session 1.
All on a law roll too.
Yeah. You know what? No, this is the first law roll ever. I'm gonna go push it. I'm gonna start
All right.
dancing and hopping like I was with Tabitha and plead my
You're gonna
case.
legal him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's gish galloping. He can't even hear what you're saying.
Okay, you're locked in. Give me that little first
please,
roll.
please. Oh no.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
That's even worse.
Yeah. Still just a failure though, but yeah, oh boy.
You know what? I don't know if I'm comfortable with you guys in the investigation. If you got this guy, and he waves his hand at the dancing around. This is a private investigator. What are they teaching at those schools these days? Karaoke? What is this?
Karawati? And I just keep on. I don't stop.
I
I'm just
I
lost in the dance at this point.
I I'm
Obviously.
I'm I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know it was like this. But I think he's just excited. I think he wants to see the evidence that we saw, you know.
Well,
I
if
think
I
that's the big
see
thing.
any of you anywhere you're not supposed to be, I'll throw you behind bars, and you can be you won't be so excited anymore after that. Then he turns his heel and he walks away.
And maybe to redeem Bruce to some degree, he might have had some drinks when he was at the ferry
Yeah,
tavern
you
before he
probably did, yeah.
A couple, yeah.
So,
All right, you guys were. I guess you're still in the back of the school, and we'll say as you were there, the cop has just left the constable who never even gave you his name. Though I think of it, that's okay. It's funnier. And yeah, Harold Webb. He greets you all again. And he's like, "What was that about, guys?"
Oh, I don't know.
Hmm.
Uncle, I have an insane story for you.
Um, well, that seems to be the norm lately. Lay it on me.
A band of witches has stolen the girl, and I'm not joking. I wish I had the evidence on me right now, but the cop just took it.
Witches, and he's rubbing his forehead. Witches. Oh,
No, no, no. She can
Yes,
back it up. She can back it up.
it does seem so, Harold.
is this like And he kind of whispers the name of it was Thomas Putman.
I mean, I don't think they're related. Seems to be Norse flavored this time. She spoke of Freya and
But
but they're
you think it's real
Runes.
like that? Real
uh,
is what I mean.
I think that I saw something that looked like a real spell, yes, something like what we saw before.
Okay,
A devil
'cause
spell, yes.
devil spell. Well,
Yep.
I did calm down Anna, and she told me a few things about that picture. She said that Jenny was suffering from nightmares about scary dead water people living on an island with the floaty man. And then he notices the pause and he just shrugs. Yeah, that's what she told me.
Scary
hmm.
dead water people
Curious.
living on an island with the floaty man.
Correct.
And
Um,
they didn't think to mention that before.
Well, Robert apparently was not aware of this. He was not
Oh,
informed by his wife, and
oh.
so it's not actually Robert's fault. Depending on your opinion about fathers who wish to know about their daughter, but I will leave that to others. That's not my purview.
And how long have these visions been going on for?
A couple weeks, it would seem.
Aye, it seems. Yes, the journal entries seem to have been going on for a few months. There was one in April, and their last meeting was in July. Yes.
And Eileen came by. She seems like she's stressed and tired. I told her to stay there with Anna and keep her company. We will, if she wishes to rejoin the investigation later, she may. Otherwise, I think it might just be you three.
that's fine. Poor wee thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Tis a stressful situation.
Do you know anything about this area from your talks with them? Do you know of an island near here? Perhaps an Isle of May?
I think I've heard of that, but I had no reason to really look into it.
Do you know any of the locals here, by chance, by the way?
I only really know Anna. I pretty much just
Okay,
use this as an excuse to meet up with her again.
okay.
So do you have any of the leads? Does any name keep coming up? Can I help any way? I don't not the
Well,
So,
investigator.
yes, but it's problematic. So David Ferguson was in these notes that we found with the witch woman. And there was also, he was the last one to see Jenny after the rehearsal yesterday at the Roseberry Hall.
Roseberry Hall.
Mhm.
Perhaps we should just go there.
It seems like a good place to follow up, yes.
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
sounds
that's
good.
just the government building around here. That would make him what,
Hmm.
a head of the council member, or
Yes, he is a council member, from what
interesting.
we understand, right?
That would
Right,
certainly give
Bruce?
him. He would have the means to kidnap someone if he is a devious sort of man.
And if Roseberry Hall is the town hall and it's closed up right now, it could be a place to stash someone.
We'd have to be careful though. The last building we broke into, they didn't like it that much.
Well, they tend to not to, nephew. But I suppose normally I would be against this, but we have to be a little more out of the box when we deal with these issues.
Precisely. See, I knew you would understand, Harold.
Of course.
Cops.
Yep, we have another Spectre McSween on our hands, it would seem.
Don't mention that name to me.
Very well. Shall we go down to Roseberry Hall or something else you would like to do?
It's the best lead we have.
I'll come along and I'll keep an eye out for the constables, and I got plenty of boring education stories I can tell them to distract them.
Excellent.
All right. Harold pulls out his chest and walks ahead, maybe reminding you for a split second of Hudson, and he leads you to where the Roseberry Hall is, which is a large and impressive I can't say this word, municipal building at the western end of the High Street. It is dominated by a 17th century clock tower and drinking fountain set into the wall. It is, as we know, the headquarters of the Townburg Council. As signs would indicate, they meet here weekly to discuss local matters. You see public meeting rooms, there's a local library, and there's a courthouse that's inside. It is open between 9:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m., and it is remained open during the festival. And I have not updated the time, I'll just make it 2. Seems fair enough. As you get inside, there is a young female receptionist and a middle-aged male librarian. Harold kind of positions himself in front of the entrance and is looking out, as he said. He's trying to look, like he's not there, but he's not doing a very good job of it. But he's nonetheless on your side, trying to watch your back.
Yeah. Ellis walks up to the receptionist. "Wee lassie, I'm looking for a David Ferguson. Is he at this building at this moment?"
Mr. Ferguson has been missing all day. We've been trying to contact him, but I'm sure he'll show up. He's an important, busy man.
Fair, fair. Are any of the other council members present?
They're not. They're all at home. I suppose they're out enjoying the festival.
Aye, tis fair enough. Tis fair enough. Uh, who all has come to this building for today? Is there any government officials, or is it just basically soft closed, more or less?
It is closed. In fact, you are our first visitors today.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay.
You are free to use our facilities here. We have a library if you're looking for anything, I suppose. I don't know what that is.
Oh,
What?
yes, lovely.
Yes. Where's the library?
And she points it out down the hall.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm
Thank
interested
you,
in
wee
the
lassie.
town history. Yes, very much so.
Well, that's wonderful. There's definitely plenty of information in our library. We're quite proud of it, actually.
And Theo heads on down
Yep.
the way to the library.
Okay, and is, Mr. Newsome coming along.
Yeah, Bruce will follow along.
All right, yep, it is quite an expansive, well-stocked library, and of course, we're going to do a library use if you want to find anything.
Ooh.
On top of stuff about like the town's history and anything occult in the area, Theo will also be looking for just like, anything that has like a general map of the area, anything that mentions that island.
Yeah. Ellis is basically just looking for like any kind of locations for the 4 people who were mentioned on the minutes from earlier. So there's records for that.
I'm
Nope.
spending a luck.
Yeah, it's
Nope.
just 1 point.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try it. No, just no.
Okay. So we have Theo with a normal success. Ellis has failed, and what is Bruce done?
I got a success.
Okay. This will go into Theo's hands. And in Bruce's hand, he does indeed find the map that was mentioned, but whether it's any use, I don't know.
Islands of the Fourth, a history. Some might say that one of the most shocking events to have transpired in the murky depths of the history surrounding the islands is the sacking of the Isle of May by Olaf Blacktongue and his vicious Northmen in the 11th century. Although accounts of these heathen attacks are understandably vague, information does exist, particularly from the monks who made Inkholm their home. One can imagine these cloistered souls, their hands trembling with fear as they touched quill to parchment, wondering if they would be next to fall beneath Blacktongue's axe. Fortunately for those pious men of God on Inkholm, the attack on May appeared to be the only instance of Olaf Blacktongue's fury. By all accounts, that is fortuitous, as the Northmen spared none of the souls inhabiting St. Aidan's priory, even going so far as to end their lives in the most mockingly sacrilegious ways imaginable. The number of souls who were sacrificed to their blasphemous hanging god was vast, and to this day there are still those who view the Isle of May in the same reverential manner as one might treat a graveyard. According to the words of an unnamed abbot, the seas around the Isle of May ran black as though with the blood of Leviathan, and the skies above rained with the blood of the innocent. Such florid accounts are typical of the time, particularly amongst religious orders, when the fear of the Day of Judgment was constant. Sadly, it would seem to be the case that those poor souls who called the Isle of May their home were right to fear the day that Olaf Blacktongue crossed the Northern Sea and spied the cliffs of May. One is left to wonder what Viking hoard still to this day contains the fabled Cross of St. Aidan, and if it shall ever be restored to its rightful place, with an illustration of a fearsome Northman holding an axe.
Yep, and Bruce has found the architectural plans of the Stevenson Lighthouse.
Is this lighthouse on the island then?
It is on the Isle of May, correct?
Interesting. I think one thing that stood out to me was in the history page, talking about how the Vikings worshipped a hanging god. Sounds suspiciously like maybe a floaty man.
And now that I remember it, the journal was talking about runes. Runes come from the Norse, so there may be a connection between this current Wiccan group and something to do with these Norsemen that were on the Isle of May.
Yes, and Harold didn't, we didn't get the details directly from the girl as to what her dreams were like, but if there were a lot of, dead people in the water, it may have been that they were, visions of ghosts from this horrible history. Hopefully it's just the girl's imagination, something she read, but the more I see, the more I worry that there's something more here. Ellis, you were with us during that last business that Bruce and I were helping Harold with, but there was something uncanny to our last particular adventure we had.
Very much so.
Some kind of devilry, like now.
Yes.
The powers of the devil are strong, but I can fight them off.
I'm glad of your confidence.
Anything for this little girl. But then I suppose that the best lead we have now is this island.
A lot of things definitely seem to be pointing towards the island.
Do we want to try to sneak into some sort of office while we're here? He might have an office here. Try.
That could confirm our suspicions, yes.
You think specific, like David Ferguson's office, you mean? Or
yes, but he's missing too. I don't know if it's because he's off doing something nefarious when it's a strange time to, choose to be off doing something nefarious if you're a public figure. Or God only knows, he could be in trouble too. But he seems to be involved with all of this, from what we described to you about that those meeting minutes.
No, it is strange. Like it's interesting how a lot of these people from the Society of History seem to be missing on this day. Like they can't be found or they're doing something.
Yes, and of all people, they should be front and center for this, folk history festival stuff.
I say I'm up for going into David Ferguson's office to see if maybe we can find any additional info.
All right, do you want to try to get in there by yourself, and the rest of us can attempt to distract the little staff members, or do you want me to come with you?
Hmm.
She's good with a lockpick, I'll tell you that.
Let's. I wonder if, because I guess she's already spoken to you. I guess part of me is wondering if we can like just convince her we're here to pick up some like David Ferguson asked us to pick up some papers in his office, Like, it's like there's a holiday going on, or if you think like distracting her would be a better option, we can do that too.
I don't know that I would buy that as an excuse at this point, since we were already asking after him.
That's true. Okay. Yeah, you distract her and I can try and sneak my way in.
All right, are you gonna let in Harold on the plan, or
Harold's looking out for the cop, right?
yeah?
I think he's
Yeah,
good
he's
to
in a good
keep
place.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
best that he remain innocent in all this.
Mhm.
Plausible deniability.
Okay.
Oh, Harold's an old hat at all sorts of trouble, but it's fine.
All right, you guys make your way back out to the lobby, and what are you saying? Oh, excuse me. What is the distraction? I guess.
Yes.
I have an idea, but I'll let Theo go first.
Oh, do you what's your idea though?
Oh,
As
I was gonna try to distract the receptionist, but I think there's two people in the room, right?
there
Yeah.
is, yes. I can
There's
always
a
distract
middle-aged
one
man
and
next
yeah,
door.
Okay, you can take the man and I'll take the receptionist.
sounds
Or
good.
you take the man, I'll take the receptionist.
Yes, you can distract her with your charms.
Of course, of course.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Ellis just walks up to the receptionist and he's like, so you work here often?
Every day,
How long have you lived in this town?
all my life.
Ah, you like the beautiful waters, the waves of this town?
I do, in fact. It's quite romantic sometimes.
Oh, ye. Do you have a wee young lad with you?
She kind of sighs. She's like, no. Guess I spent too much time in the library to meet my soulmate.
Oh, is that so? Well, I've come back from the waters. I was in the Navy, but now I'm back here and I'm trying to learn up on me bookings and stuff like that. So maybe you could teach me something.
Oh, and guess that'll be a charm.
Yes.
I'll give you a
I
bonus die. She's impressed by the Navy element.
Okay.
I don't know if you actually have the charm skill, or she doesn't.
No, I do not. I do not have a charm skill. This is just flying by the seat of the pants right here.
Yeah.
We believe in you, Ellis.
We believe. We believe. That's actually a pretty good roll. What was the extra die? Sorry, oh, I
Reroll
forget.
the tens, yeah,
Yeah.
and then you take whichever one was lower.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Oof. Okay, so I got like a 21, but I have a 15. I don't. Actually, no, yeah, I will spend luck on this a little bit. It's a semi-important thing we're doing.
All
So
right,
I'll go ahead and cut 6, yeah, 19. Yeah, so that's 15, so that's a regular pass.
all right. She doesn't seem like she's first she seems like she wasn't gonna buy it, then she brightens up. All right, let's go into one of the side rooms over here, and
Yep.
so we can go over whatever you want to go over. And she's flirting with you. I'm gonna spare you not flirt with you, but
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and then Theo.
Okay, so Theo has already done her best to make, some notes about what they have found in the library. But she goes up to the middle-aged man and she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, sir, I was curious if there was any way to check out any of these materials, or if I could trouble you for some paper to make some copies. Just there's so much interesting stuff we found, and I want to follow up on some of it while we're here on vacation. Could you help me, please?"
Yes, madam, as you were I don't believe you live here or have a card, so I wouldn't feel comfortable you're checking out a book, but you can have anything you like and look at it over here. Look at it while you're here.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Do you have some paper so I can make some extra notes?
I do, in fact.
Oh, I thank you. Oh, do you have um how about some oh, I don't know if I would want to use ink. Do you have a pencil perhaps? I don't want to get anything on anything.
He opens a drawer and he throws a pencil out of it onto the desk in front of him. There you go. Pen
Alright,
and paper, a pencil and paper.
could you come with me to the library? There's a particular atlas and it's just too high up for me.
Too high up for you. Is like size, like I suppose, but it'll only be a couple minutes, right?
Oh yeah, it's not long at all. Come, come.
All right.
I just need, a strapping fella to help.
We had a success in luck spin. I'll let it go there for this guy. Although Bruce, you won't have a lot of time, and any pushed rolls will be devastating. So,
Why are you saying that for?
You know why I'm saying that.
All right. Bruce is going to try and make his way as quickly, but also as quietly as he can to
Yeah,
Ferguson's office.
the council has their own office doors, and you find I guess what is it, Ferguson's, and it is of course locked, Mr. Detective.
All right. I will roll for a locksmith.
Yeah. Hard
Yeah.
success.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, he's sobering up, and he's pops that door open. That little whiskey courage.
You got to show him, Bruce. You got to show him you know what you can do.
Okay, you enter into his office. There's a round table, and I guess it's like an office they all share. It's a round table, and there's 6 chairs. There's plenty of filing cabinets, and so I suppose we draw your eye immediately. Did you go to this? Yeah. Okay. Does he go to those filing cabinets? They're actually unlocked.
Okay, I'll search through them.
All right, you file through these papers quickly. You see that most of them are just detailing the council affairs, which are of no interest. The office seems to be used as a meeting venue for the History Society, so we have that where that is actually staged at is in the room you're standing in, and you get somebody's address. It's underlined as important. It's Joseph McCallum. He's the chairman of the society. He lives at 3 Gamekeepers Cottages in Dalmany Village.
Okay. And then I guess if I try and push my time a little bit, like
I'll give you one more action.
maybe I guess if I go through David Ferguson, can I make out like a specific like, oh, this is David Ferguson's desk?
Seems like it's just the file cabinets.
Just the file cabinets. Okay. I guess I'll try searching through more file cabinets then.
All right, you don't seem to find anything. It seems like whoever this Joseph McCallum is, it seems to be marked as of interest with the South Queen Ferry History Society. So I don't believe anyone's actually told you his name, but it seems to be important.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then with that, I'm gonna try and just make things up as if no one was here, and then make my discreetly make my way out.
Okay, and the middle-aged librarian is done helping Theo, and he is right back at his desk. And you two probably arrived there about the same time, and he looks at you and shrugs, goes back to his duties. The young woman is still with Ellis, likely having romantic ideas that she read in a book many a times as a strapping young lad is with her.
Does Ellis notice that that Bruce comes back out?
Just for simplistic, yeah, we could say that you saw the Bruce's form going by in the door, whatever she took you to.
Okay. So he's like kind of winding it down. He's like, all right, I'm staying at this inn for the weekend, so if you ever want to come by and share a drink, come on over. But currently I have some things to attend to, but I'm sure I'll be seeing you around, won't I? The name's Ellis, by the way.
Ellis, my name's Kathy, and she touches your hands like, thank you for the fun. I will definitely take you up on that.
Aye. And then he just winks at her,
Mhm.
flexes again, then walks towards the group.
You think you saw her spoon there.
Works like a charm.
You spent 6 lux, you got a spoon out of it there.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. Theo's giggling to herself as you leave.
All right, you three reconvene in the lobby.
All right. I relay the name and address that I found. It seems like this Joseph McCallum guy sounds pretty important.
McCallum, he's the president. He's the president of the society.
Oh yes, that was in the minutes.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
So you found finally an address of a person. Ugh, I don't remember any place that's kept poorer records than this one.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find any other interesting information, but when I think about it, it's like this is like an official government building, so I don't know how much of their like dirty laundry they'd be keeping, right inside here. But they did seem to have their meetings take place in that office room.
Oh, the History Society meetings?
Yes. I believe
What
so.
gave you that impression?
What did give me that impression?
It was basically set up like a meeting room, and all
Yeah.
of their minutes were there in the cabinets.
Yeah,
that
that's what gave me the
It
impression.
was in the papers. It said that they used the office as the meeting venue.
Oh,
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I forgot.
That's all right. Kind of went
Yeah.
there fast. There's not a handout, so I just told you.
Oh yeah, Rosenberry Hall. Yeah, that was at the top.
so if his address is important, perhaps that's a place where they do their less above board things, like casting magic spells and that.
Ellis crosses himself again.
I mean, it's
Shall-
possible they have to meet somewhere.
Shall we go see if maybe Jenny's there?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Once more into the breach.
All right, you walk outside of the hall, and you see Harold Webb's there. He's looking. He sees you, and he goes, a couple constables walked by, but nobody really took much interest in us.
Yes, I'm sure that would have been different if the whole building was closed up.
Yes, we were lucky that it stays open during the festival, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find your next lead?
We did. We have an address to follow up on.
And where's that?
We found where Joseph McCallum lives. He's the president of the History Society that supposedly was trying to recruit Jenny, that this crazy witch woman is part of.
All right. I believe I have heard somebody talk about him. They said he was just a retired bookseller.
Oh, lovely.
There's nothing.
Because that's not bad at all.
Yeah, I guess we know what kind of books he likes. It's a perfect cover if you're dealing these kind of occult materials.
Oh, I might have to raid his library.
No, Theo, you don't get too interested in this stuff. I want to see you turn into some kind of evil sorcerer as well.
Oh, never.
All right, you promised me, right?
Of course.
I don't think I could be friends with an evil sorcerer.
I mean,
I'm open-minded, but that's too far.
oh, you know me, Harold. I just like some, good trouble, not bad
Yes.
kind.
Let's keep our fun trouble about us. And he gives you a mischievous look. Did you tell him the address? It's okay if you forgot it. You could just say you told him.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He's like down the mini village. That's about a mile to the southeast. There's a train station, or I can give you a ride. I did take my car over on the ferry. I'll leave that up to you. You guys are doing a good job. Trust you.
A driver might be nice.
Yes, that way we could have a way to get back here quickly if we find something, that's. It does seem to be the times of the essence. I mean, surely isn't this festival, the fairy queen crowning, isn't that supposed to happen pretty soon?
Yeah, it probably should have already happened. So people are probably getting worried now. But you already informed the police, so maybe let that distract them from whatever you're doing.
Wonderful. Okay.
So I'm to come along as the getaway driver. Wow, 62 years old. I'm still going on new adventures.
Well, I mean, technically you got us into all of this. It wasn't me getting you into it, but
Do we need to hang on technicalities right now? He looks at Bruce. Can he take something from his playbook?
it'll be a nice picturesque drive. Everything will be fine.
All right. Do you guys you have everything you need before we go?
Yep.
He looks like you don't got any shotguns hidden anywhere in town, right?
I'd be lying if I didn't say that's all I've been thinking about since we started this.
All right.
It's all right. Ellis will just punch something if it rears its ugly head, right?
Yep.
Aye.
The old adventurous Webb 1-2.
Don't need a gun when you have these guns. Pump, pump, arm,
Listen,
arm.
God, you remind me of Hudson Moore every time I talk to you. All right.
He's going to be so sad he missed this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be writing him a letter with this entire account. He's gonna get an eyeful wherever he's at. I think he said he went to Africa, actually.
Ah,
Hmm.
I would love to beat him, I'm sure. A man after my own heart.
You know what? I think I might, maybe as a gift, I'll send you along with him sometime. We're getting into all this. All right, he takes you to his car, which I guess I didn't even think what his car was. It's all off the cuff. He's got a very nice fancy car. It's better than the typical Model Ford that you would see. And he does indeed take you down to a very scenic drive to. He drives you close to the train station that's near South Queens Ferry. It could have taken it instead. That's where he leaves you for there, and he's like, "Oh, I'll keep it here out of relatively out of sight, I guess. Hide in plain sight, as they say. We are for strangers just going into this village. Should probably keep a low profile if we can."
Theo looks at all of them and then shakes her head.
If we can, I said.
I think it's not possible, but yeah.
What is it? Hope for the best.
Yeah.
Expect the worst.
No, and he looks at Bruce. Don't make any cops mad, please.
What?
Again.
I'll never. I will try harder next time. I swear.
That's all we can ask of each other. To try harder. All right, we'll leave you to it. Delmini Village awaits. Sally forth. And you were given the address, so if you're just going to go right there, we can do that. Or if you want to do anything else, go ahead.
What does this little side village look like? Is there anything of note here as we walk along?
No, it's probably not too dissimilar from South Queens Ferry. It's a small, quiet living area for people. There's a couple shops open. Doesn't seem to be much of note here.
Does it seem quieter than usual? Like some of the people might have gone to the very nearby festival?
Seems like it's quiet, and that is the usual.
Ah,
Is there a
all the
lot of
time
police?
quiet.
Is there a lot of police activity or anything?
Nope.
Cool.
You don't see
Eye
any
out for
constables
that.
or anything.
We're all paranoid now.
I guess. Yeah.
I guess we just head over, yeah.
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 All right, you were given the address, then you come across it. His residence is at Joseph McCall's residence is at the end terrace of a block of three similar stone-built structures that are built across a single level. As you walk closer, you see the cottages all have a row of well-tended gardens. I didn't even think what the time would be. We'd probably just move forward to 5, maybe. I am unclear, I'll say, is how long these old cars will take to get there, but we'll just make it 5. And hey, you do see there's a woman out there. She's tending to the garden. Yeah, tending to the roses specifically. She seems friendly and cheerful. She's not paying you much mind yet.
Does she look like Gillespie?
She does not.
Okay, thank goodness.
Hmm.
Not in a hurry to confront that particularly.
Afraid of witches, yeah.
Figure they can do things they shouldn't be able to.
Hmm.
Hello, miss.
Why, hello. And then she stands up. You can see that she's quite an older woman, but she seems even older than Gillespie, and she's very friendly, small woman. She is, I guess, she's in the yard next to where McCallum's house would be. She's his next door neighbor. She looks at you and,
How are you doing this fine day?
oh, this is a wonderful day. Just headed to the garden. I'm retired for a few years now. This takes up most of my time. And she kind of shows you around, and she looks at, the garden is very nice, very well tended.
Oh, I do love flowers. What can you tell me about yours?
Oh, would you like one of
going
these
to
roses?
distract this woman, by the way.
Okay, so all right, your intentions have been renewed.
Mhm.
She plucks out a rose. Would you like one of my flowers?
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
why
so
not?
sweet. Oh, thank you.
You look like a friendly lady.
Do you grow these for other people? Do you give them away a lot?
Not too often, but I kind of like you, I think.
Oh, well, thank you. So tell me, is this your pride and joy? Is this what you do most of your time?
This takes up pretty much all my daylight hours, yeah.
I can tell it's a very lovely garden.
Gotta keep myself active in my age, not working anymore. That's what gets you, not being active anymore.
Yes, you got to keep busy. Me, I like old things that will, not the stuff that grows out of the ground. Although I do love an old tree.
Oh, you're not at that Egyptian mania nonsense that was taking the city, are you?
Oh no.
Grabs a heart. Oh, thank goodness. Some of the other young people were talking about that. It's so, I'm sorry to say dumb. It's not proper for elderly to me to say, but it is dumb.
I mean, I had a little shop, and of course I had to sell some of that type of stuff because that's what everybody was into. But I like stuff that was made here.
Yeah.
Particularly old. Do you know anything about the history of this area? I was just at one of the local libraries looking into it.
No, that would be and she looks across to her. She looks next to her. She's like, that would be Joseph McCallum. He's a bookseller. He's into that kind of stuff. Are you
Oh,
friends of him? What brings you here?
oh well, I mean, I believe that he is involved with the group that does history over in the town that I'm actually staying in. So I've
Yeah,
heard the name.
he's a
He
pretty
lives
important
right next to
guy.
you?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's into all kinds of things. He's a very important, high, bigwig kind of guy. Very proud to have him as my neighbor.
well, that's very fascinating. Perhaps he has a lovely book he can lend me then, since I'm walking here. But I mainly just stopped to see your garden.
Ah, well, I mean, he is a lifelong bachelor. I didn't know if you were interested in him that way.
Oh, well,
While this conversation's
Yep.
going
What are you guys
on.
doing?
Yeah.
I'll just keep talking. I
Yeah.
got all day.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
This is
Yeah.
just distraction.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking like, do we just like look at each other like, let's walk around back now?
Honestly,
Yeah,
you're
while
a
this
retiree. I could talk all day.
Yeah.
I guess yeah, I know. I was like, wait a second, this all seems very familiar, and I
I
feel
wouldn't even
like I
make you
should
be
be
a
doing.
role.
Yeah.
This one is just so happy to have someone to talk to.
Um, I guess the two main things I'd like to do are just see if I can get a quick sense of is anyone in Joseph McCallum's house, and
We can say that you can look through one of the windows and no, you don't see any movement of any kind, and there's no lights or anything like that on. You're fairly sure it's empty.
can
Can.
I will pick the lock.
Okay, there's a front door. I guess you went to the back door, right? It does need
Let's
does
do
need to
the
be
back
open.
door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's the old lady in the front yard, so.
Yeah.
Okay, and the locksmith will be quiet, and you better have a good strength roll if you want it to be quiet. Gonna say hard strength roll will be quiet, harder better. So probably better let him locksmith it first.
Let's hope, let's hope.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, yeah. It's not there. She should probably move the conversation on to like her grandchildren and yeah, you open it up. The cottage is a very modest dwelling. There's just a bedroom, a sitting room, a kitchen, and a laboratory.
A
A laboratory.
No, I guess it's the bathroom, lavatory.
Oh, okay.
Oh, lavatory. I was like, wait, what?
Yes.
Oh, there it is.
We
It's
got
just
him,
a-
boys.
It's just very simple black sorcery going on there. No.
We
There's a
just blew
bathroom.
this case wide open.
What?
Okay, yeah, we'll start rummaging
All
around.
right, you guys
Yeah.
fan out, and she talks about her grandson who's going to college. And okay, so the first thing we find is there's on a table in the sitting room there is a book that catches your eyes. We will say that Bruce entered first as he opened the door, so you find that first, Bruce. I don't know if you're going to read it here or not. You can hold on to it. But it is a
Um,
book on the South Ferry genealogy.
I can go ahead and read it.
All right.
Okay. So genealogy of South Queens Ferry from the Dark Ages to the present. Olaf Blacktongue. The preponderance of names in the region being of Norse origin is most likely as a result of the frequent sackings of holy sites in the region in the 9th century. Being a vital passage forming part of the ancient pilgrim route, the islands of the Forth were inhabited by several monastic and religious orders of the time, most notably those souls who lived, worked, and prayed in St. Aidan's Priory on the Isle of May. It is not the place of this author to comment or indeed dwell upon the undeniable terrible acts done by the Norsemen. Instead, given our special area of interest, our attention instead turns to those souls begat by Olaf Blacktongue and his reavers, rather than those ended by them. By all accounts, Blacktongue, as leader of the fiercest raiding party that plagued the waters at this time, fathered several sons and daughters, perhaps as many as 24. Early records of designated lands and holdings in the coastal towns of Fife and of the settlements on the southern shore indicated that several of the inhabitants were known by given names that would be more commonly expected in the frozen lands of the north. Of particular note is South Queensferry, where all indications suggest that Blacktongue's first son and heir, if the Norsemen could be said to have had such a patrilineal tradition, settled, turning his forefather's skill with the axe and blade into more fruitful endeavors. Some suggest that it is Blacktongue and his line that first fished the bountiful waters, establishing the community that exists still to this day.
So, excuse me. And then we'll say for the Navy man, this is not an actual handout that I have, but you see that you find the chart of the waters of Fourth Estuary is also on that table. It shows tides, currents, and channels in the waters from the south. And I will need either a hard intelligence or a regular navigate roll to decipher what is important here.
Ooh, let me check.
You
What's my
might have to navigate.
skill?
Yeah.
I might have put a skill into it.
Is that something I can help with too, or
You may,
I
yes.
did not put anything into navigate. You said just regular intelligence or
Hard intelligence or navigate
hard
skill.
intelligence. What's my intelligence? Ooh,
It's not it's not good.
It's not great. Yeah, he's more the rowing and the doing stuff in the ship, not the
Yeah,
navigating.
that's
But
what I figured.
yeah,
rowing?
so I mean,
Yeah, you can do it too.
yeah,
Bruce.
if
He
Bruce
points
wants
it
to
out.
take a look at
Yeah.
it, yeah, I
He
think
just
he'd
points
be
out what's
smarter.
important. Good.
Yeah, I point. I'm like, I point to him. I'm like, this is like a navigation chart. Do you have any? Can you help me with this, basically?
All right. Fingers crossed. Oh my goodness.
Stream.
Woo!
Yeah. So
On a roll.
My brain, you saw my brain just grow 2 sizes bigger.
That alcohol is like
Yeah.
improved his intelligence.
His hat just
That
fell
was-
off his head.
Yeah.
All right, on this map, essentially there are markings, or I guess chart there are markings, and he's written some calculations. Those calculations they determine the distances and measurements that show the distance and the travel time between South Queensferry and the Isle of May. So obviously this information is important to him. So it's the Isle of May again coming up.
It all leads back to the island.
Island and also Olaf Blacktongue.
Norse witches.
Hmm.
Interesting.
And Janice has moved on to like her third cousin going to high school now. And if you want to like break away and get into the scene, I'll allow you, but otherwise we'll leave them in. You don't have to just stay out there and do nothing.
Oh, Theo's interested in like, does she have any younger female relatives that are in South Queensferry that she can introduce Ellis to? We're just gonna set Ellis up with all the young ladies.
All the young ladies.
He finds his like one true love.
I think I have a 45-year-old niece somewhere.
He's gonna be the new what's his name? Olaf. He's gonna have like 12 children or whatever.
I'll remember that if you go insane later. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, as you guys continue to search, there is a trunk underneath McCallum's bed.
Is it locked?
It is not. And it is, in fact, almost empty. Inside there's a brown folded garment. It resembles a monk's cassock at the bottom. The hem of it is stained, and there is a salty residue indicating that it has been submerged in seawater. Should be a very familiar smell to you.
Oh yeah.
And as you pick it up and look at that and confirm the smell, there is a piece of paper on it with a sketch. And yeah. So it is a picture. It is a representation of a standing stone with symbols, and could need a history roll. Otherwise, it's just a picture of a standing stone.
Yeah.
I'll try it, but
Yeah, I mean, mine's bare minimum, so
We'll
wouldn't
have
be
the
much
history
better.
person outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, Theo has history as an antiquarian. It's kind of important.
No, you can't make a heads nor tails of it. Although you do, of course, think of your antiquarian friend outside.
Yeah, we'll save that. We'll just,
Hmm.
we roll this piece of paper up and we pocket it.
You gonna take it with us?
Yeah.
Okay. There is something else in there. Yeah. There is a letter among his papers. There's no spot hiddens. I guess the author learned not to put spot hiddens in everything. Yeah, it is a letter, which I will put in here.
22nd of June, 1923. Dear Joseph, if you are in doubt about my commitment, I can only apologize. I can see now that I was hasty to question your experience and knowledge. After your demonstration at the society last week, I am utterly convinced of your abilities and also of the enticing powers you showed us were waiting for us. Believe me when I say your promise to us is the greatest gift imaginable. My body insists on reminding me how close to the grave I am now, but to be able to forestall that for another 80 years, well, suffice to say, you have nothing but my absolute trust and loyalty. I must admit I am somewhat nervous of the journey we must make. You are aware of the particular challenges I have at home, and you can perhaps forgive a certain mistrust of the sea. However, rest assured, my dear friend, I will do whatever is necessary to play my part in ensuring the forthcoming ceremony is successful. Praise be to Odin, Hamish. Hamish. That was the treasurer? Or no, he was just a member. But he's
Mhm.
also a member of the society.
I think he's also the one that lives in Black Castle. The old man that everyone was like a sorcerer.
That's Hamish?
Yes.
Ah, so they're all in on it. I see. Yeah, I
Uh,
just I just take the note with me too. I just like
Mhm.
roll it up, put it in my pocket.
All right, there's one more
Okay.
thing of interest as you guys look around further, and there's a wall calendar in the kitchen. This is yet another handout. Several dates are circled on it, with Fridays being one, accompanied by the letter H. Sunday's date is also circled, accompanied by the letter M and the word midnight.
hmm.
8 Hamish. M for McCollum, maybe?
But then Saturday it says midnight on it.
Oh. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Keeper.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Oh, I see, I see. Who's Wallace?
I don't know.
Interesting. Another one.
All right. We'll take a note of these dates, I guess.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then if there's nothing else, I guess we can start making our way back out.
All right.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, you're definitely done searching her as you get back outside. She has moved on. She's like my niece named Maybelline. She's 45, but she's very handsome woman. She would make a fine match for the young lad.
That
Yes.
might be a bit too old for him. And
Oh.
Theo's in her garden with her and like helping her water at this point. Oh, there's the young man now. You see, he's a strapping young navy lad.
He sure is.
Anyway, I suppose they probably need me for something. You know, men, they're useless on their own, so I have to go now. Sorry, but I'll come back and visit you while I'm on vacation.
Oh,
If that's
anytime.
all right, we can
Oh, it
have a
was
tea
a
or something.
this was an absolute unexpected pleasure. Come by anytime.
Wonderful. And she takes her little rose and runs back over to the gentleman. See, I kept my word and everything. That constable will be so happy. Do you show the
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Yeah,
We go
we
through
show
it.
her we tell her about the stuff and then we show her the
Mhm. All right.
the little rune thing. I
Okay.
can't speak this language. Do you have any idea what's going on here?
Oh, let me see. I've
You,
done a bit of study on this sort of thing, but it's been a while. Let me see.
history will reveal what
Yep.
language it is.
Yep.
If you fail, I'm gonna laugh.
Right.
They're all this build up. No,
Success.
yeah, of course, this is her
Nice.
history. Yep. These this would make sense to you, Theo. They are ancient Norse runes on here. And I don't think you have this language, but I'm pretty sure if you went to a library, you could translate it
Yeah.
with the correct materials.
If I had a reference, I'm sure I
Yeah.
could translate it. It'd be no problem, but I don't know it off the top of my head. They're definitely runes, though. This may be from the island. They mentioned that already. So it might be a drawing from the island. Did you say something about a Wallace, though?
Yes, there was a Wallace on the calendar, but he hasn't been mentioned before in any of the other writings, so I don't know who this would be.
Well, that can be a first name too, but it's my last name. I wonder if I have relatives down here I don't know about. Distant, obviously, if
Oh.
anything, but
Interesting.
we should keep an eye out for that.
Mm-hmm.
I can
And-
use a good genealogy, excuse to talk to them if we find who they are.
And you're sure you're not a witch, right?
No, not at all. Actually, before our last adventure, I didn't even believe in any of this stuff. It's fascinating, though, but very dangerous. Definitely needs to be
Yes.
kept track of, dealt with.
Very dangerous.
Yes. Here's the interesting thing, though, Ellis. You were saying about the devil and all that. I think there's something to that because this is all relating supposedly to Norse history, right? But when I looked at that thing that I recognized as a spell, like the things we'd seen before, the only reason that would be is because it's not Norse at all. It's this stuff, this dark stuff that's even older.
I Now I don't know much, but if this letter I read is anything to go off of, it seems that Hamish, at least, maybe all of the members of the club, are trying to unlock some sort of spell to reverse aging, if I'm understanding that correctly. So maybe they're trying to do some sort of devil ritual, but that would explain why they have the children. For their
Oh
youth,
no.
maybe? That would
Oh
be awful.
no.
That would be awful. And it's all leading back to this island, so there has to be some connection to the island too. But if that's right, I'm quite worried about that poor wee girl.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think definitely. And Bruce will mention, to Theo just how we had found it was like a monk's robe, right, that we had found inside the house.
Yeah, pretty much.
And just sort of the like similarities to the Egyptian thing that we had found, like people dressing in costumes and just the whole cult sort of the bigger and bigger signs that this is a cult of some kind, magic cult.
Well, I suppose we should get back to the town, inform Harold what we found, see if anyone has come back or appeared.
Does H mean, and like if Saturday had, and I kind of bring out like our notes on the calendar. If Saturday says midnight, M for midnight, does H mean anything to any of you?
The best I can guess is that it refers to Hamish. If that's his, if he's the one being referenced in the letter before that too,
Yeah, he
in the
does.
house.
He definitely seems involved somehow.
Maybe they're doing the ritual on him tonight.
Maybe that explains why, because we also remember the Burry man didn't go to Black Castle, which I believe is Hamish's house.
So are you saying we should go back to his house?
I'm just
But-
saying, like, kind of our next lead, maybe.
Yeah, it is the only
Yes.
place we haven't actually, looked into yet that we were. I mean,
On the
really, I was just
mainland.
kind of strange that yes, there were a couple of strange connections to that place, but it also just sort of stood out.
Mm-hmm. I would like to get the Nordic runes also translated if we can, but I know
Aye.
we're kind of getting late into the day.
Well, let's see what time it is when we get back to the main village then.
Aye.
All right, so you're gonna go back to Harold.
hurry back to
Yep.
Harold to take us back to Queens.
Do you inform him of any of this, or just tell him to drive?
Mhm. Theo tells him everything.
Well, we could just say
Nice
he's telling you
badly.
all on the
Yep.
drive. I suppose makes some sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's like, Hamish, so Black Castle. Is that where you're going to next?
Seems like.
That was next to the Fairy Tavern. There's a lot of eyes. They're gonna see you going in the front door.
Has the sun gone down yet, though?
It is what about summertime, so it's probably just barely going down now.
Okay.
Still fairly bright. I'm not saying you shouldn't go. I'm saying you might have to find an alternate means. Ask around town or something, whatever some investigator types do.
Mm.
I know this sounds like a crazy plan. And maybe this is more just like, well, like, so, we had found the supposed Burry man at the Fairy Tavern, right?
Yes.
I wonder if no, and there's a bunch. I don't know. I guess this. Follow me here. There's a bunch of drunk people at a bar, and the Burry men never visited Black Castle. Like, what if we can get a drunken mob to just like pound on the doors,
And Harold's like, maybe you want to be more subtle now. You do have the police that have eyes on you.
That's true.
I am worried about the mob taking evidence as well. Yes.
All right,
Well,
all
that's
right.
true. What if they decided to burn the place because they decide he's a warlock?
Maybe that's plan B.
Yes. Let's leave inciting a mob to the last.
Sorry, not,
If all else fails.
There are no stupid plans. That's just not plan one. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. If need be. Absolutely.
Thank you, Keeper.
Thank you, Harold.
Thank you, Harold.
All right, you all arrive back in the town of South Queens Ferry. It is 7 at night. It's the day is just
I
barely.
assume the library is closed by now, though.
I believe that said.
Wasn't it 5:30, I think?
Yes, so it would have
Yeah.
just closed. And although you do have a girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Oh, I
do-
wonder if she would let us in. Yeah. Oh, wait, but I don't know her address.
That's true.
I gave her but, well, I guess we can go back to the inn and see if she's there.
Hanging around
Mm.
waiting for you.
That'll
Yeah.
be. How about just a luck roll? That's what that roll is for.
A luck roll. Okay.
See if she decided to check up on you early.
Okay, let's see. Ooh, 12. Yeah. Yeah, I guess
Alright.
she's there.
Yeah, Kathy is outside your door. She looks kind of embarrassed. She's like, I guess I just wanted to see you really soon.
Aye, wee lass. I understand. I
Little-
understand.
Little
I'm a
embarrassed.
popular man around here, but I try to keep my eyes on only one at a time, if you know what I mean. And how do I broach the subject? So
Oh, you two want to be alone, don't you? Oh, but here's the thing. There's only one problem. Ellis is supposed to be accompanying me. I need all the help I can get as an older spinster woman. It's terrible. You don't want to be like this, miss.
Oh,
Though, there is a thing. How I was at the library earlier. You remember me, right?
yeah, of course.
Well, there was one thing I forgot to look up. Is there a way you could let me into the library just to look at something?
I
I
don't
won't
think.
bring any, bags or anything with the other gentleman seemed,
Yeah, if you're just
not
gonna
to be.
go and look for
Come-
maybe 20
Yeah.
minutes is probably anything more than that. Be a little suspicious.
Oh, that's fine. I just need, and then you could be with Ellis while I'm in there.
All right. She starts walking back to the library with you guys.
yeah.
I love that I don't even need
Ne-
to make rolls.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not a. This
Is
is.
this the power of the sailor?
The sailor's charm knows no bounds, truly.
Yes, yes.
All right, let's see how we're
Just
going to
work
do
with
this.
the narrative, not against it.
I mean, it's already been established. It's all right.
Exactly.
Okay, so Theo has allowed into the library. Makes a sweet talk with Kathy, the librarian. Just when again we shall spare one another of flirting with each other, and Theo, give me a library use the reference. There is indeed an
Okay.
expansive library that has these kind of things there. You can make a basic translation with it. Please do not fail after all this.
Right?
Comes back out. I
I
got
wanted to
nothing.
do this today.
Oh
Oh,
no.
Oh
91.
no.
I'm gonna push it.
Ooh.
Okay. I know
Oh
So
man.
exactly.
she's looking around. She doesn't see anything like with Norse runes automatically. She is going to
Mm,
just start pulling books out at random, not worrying if she makes a mess and leaves
okay.
it for them, which, won't win her any friends, but she doesn't care at this point because she's like, I gotta get this done.
All right, you're locked in. Push that roll.
Oh
No.
no!
Oh.
Let this be a
So
lesson.
close!
Never double down.
Never, never
Right?
go all in. Never.
All right. The you guys were you're
I
not big.
knock over a book.
Yes, and you're throwing books around. You're in your excitement. You're making more noise than you think, and that constable that was mad at you all earlier, he
Oh
walks into the front
The
door.
same one.
He looks at you guys hard in the eyes, and he walks past you. He walks right into the library and says, "Well, well, well. I'm a nice guy. I see nice guys do indeed finish last.
Oh, sir. I do have permission to be here. I know it looks a bit of a mess, but I was gonna clean it up.
You know what? I don't care if you have permission. I am within my rights to take you down to the station if I wish.
You want to do that? Really?
I was gonna let it go, then I thought maybe someone was in here, and I thought it might be those guys. And I thought it would be the detective, but it's you. I don't actually know what you're about, but just come along with me. We don't have to cuff you unless you make me.
Oh, all right. I suppose there are worse things than spending time with a gentleman for a few hours, even if he
No
is
sweet talk,
trying
madam.
to, accuse me of things that I haven't done.
I have a wife. All right, he leads Theo down to the station, taking her out of whatever plan you're going to do next.
Oops.
Darn, I don't get to go to the weird house that I've been eyeing since the beginning of
Yes, Theo cannot be part two now. No, I'm kidding. All right, you guys, yeah, you're left there with Kathy. She's looking very perturbed. I was like, maybe we shouldn't have done this.
Well, every once in a while you have to be a little bit adventurous. Tis just the way of the world. But
I,
I appreciate your generosity in any case.
of course, and she begins locking up the library again, and I think she just kind of walks off, looking a little. Like she did something wrong. You can tell, like she's. This was very adventurous for her to do. This is a very quiet, small town girl. And you two are standing there, like it's just like when
Dang.
Frederick got arrested, right? There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of parallels in this. And not even this was improvised. I didn't do that on purpose.
So, Bruce, now what?
I feel like we should try and get Theo out of jail somehow.
Yeah, you can use your wonderful lawyer skills like you tried earlier, maybe.
I believe in the law as a shield, so yes, maybe. No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, Ellis is just he's also a little bit dejected that he lost his little girlfriend, so he's just like,
This
he's going along with
unexpected
it.
side story of the romance.
Yeah.
All
Maybe she'll
right.
come back in the end, you never know.
And
She needed her life livened up if that was adventurous for her.
Yeah.
That's what Theo would tell
Yeah.
you.
You get the idea. She pretty much just works in that library all day, probably. Very quiet girl.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was still in the library. She just opened it after hours, honestly.
Yeah. All right, you guys. I guess probably keep a respectable distance as you fall down to the local police station.
Yeah, Theo doesn't look like she's worried. She just looks kind of dejected.
We'll do it from your point of view. You see her just playing inside the building. You don't know what they done with her. You can assume they took her somewhere. Did they put her in an office? Did they put her in a questioning room? Did they lock her up? You have no idea. Unless you go inside.
Uh, well, I'll be honest, all I kind of got up my sleeve is just bust in here and demand that should be released if they don't have any charge for her. But I don't know if there's any other ideas.
Uh, I mean, I don't think I could fight the whole police department, nor do I think it would be a good Christian thing to do. So,
Okay. Hmm.
I like that you had the thought though.
Yeah, I guess I'll bust in, you know. I'll maybe like push the door in,
Yeah, the
like,
door's unlocked. The building is still open to the public at the moment. It should probably always be open to the public. It's a police station.
yeah, I won't like kick the door open, but I'll like throw it open and just make a, I don't know, like I'm a lawyer or something now. Get your hands off my client, or, you'll all be subpoenaed. I don't know.
Right, there's a constable sitting behind the desk. He looks up and he's like, "Client,
Theodora Wallace, where is she?
is that the middle-aged woman that the boss took earlier?
Uh, Listen here, buddy. I'll be the one asking questions around here.
You really won't. Not without a hard fast talk, you won't."
Uh, I will try the roll. I'm gonna push my luck.
You're gonna push the roll.
Or no,
Oh,
I'm
no.
gonna spend luck.
Oh, okay. How
Okay,
much,
that's better.
how much are you spending?
6.
6? Okay, 6 isn't too bad. I was just like 30 or something. It'd be insane. All right, take 6. You look at him. He's a young man. He's probably, you think maybe you just got it over on because he's not as knowledgeable. And he's like, "All right, you're pretty fast though, sir. What's your name?"
I'm gonna, I'll tell him my name. Bruce Newsome. Bruce Newsome.
Bruce Newsome. All right. I was gonna say the other guy's gonna say like, "No, he's not a lawyer. He's a detective."
Who also I practice many, I have my hands dipped in many soups. All right, so
All
He's a big
right.
lawman.
exactly.
The chief took him. He's Alec Brown, the guy with the mustache. Took her, excuse me. Took her down, and I guess you can go down if you're the lawyer, or the other two have to stay if they came in. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm just kind of standing awkwardly to the side, like
Right, the other guy
kind
standing
of
out as you.
embarrassed.
All right, then. I don't know what your deal is, but you can just stay right there and just down the hall, sir. And yeah, he didn't take you. It was just an interrogation room. You're not cuffed. You're not being threatened. If you think he's kind of a nice guy, you just kind of piss them off.
Right?
All right, and he sits you down, and as soon as he starts talking, Bruce walks in the door. He's like, "How the hell did you get in here?"
Don't worry about how I got in here. All right, I'm representing Miss Wallace right now, and she's not answering
Oh.
any questions
You're
to anybody.
you're a private detective. You do not represent anything other than a client that you investigate mysteries for.
I also dabble in law, so
He is stunned.
Oh, Bruce, sit down.
very it's a very open system in Scotland. I don't know what to tell you. All right, I
Do you
didn't make
think I
the
really
rules.
want to lock this respectable woman up? You people have just pushed me to my freaking breaking point. That's all. I'm a nice guy. I do things by the book.
All right, all right, all right. Let's
You
simmer down here. I can see,
you clearly
blood's
worked some sort of charm on that young woman. Known her all her life. She's a good woman. It was probably easy to make her, the other guy probably flexed his muscle and made her swoon. I don't know. Um,
but
Mr.
hey,
Got something to say?
yeah, you know what? That is because I'm sorry. I know I can tell you are a nice person. You're a great person. And I understand that we have been unnecessarily uh, a bother to you. However, there is increasing evidence that A, we had every right to be at the library, and B, there's increasing evidence of some nefarious stuff going at Hamish Forbes' house, that may be related to the kidnapping of a young girl.
Oh, you're not going to
So,
break into his house too, are you? You freaking people.
No, we think you should.
yeah, that's why we're here.
Well, I need a warrant.
Well, you can at least go talk to him.
I'm not going to knock on the door. I already tell you he's not going to answer.
Well, why is that?
I don't think he's home.
Is he rarely home?
He's been not missing. It's probably too strong a word, but he's definitely been absent the last couple of weeks. Which nobody has a problem with that. I'm sure you already know he's an evil sorcerer if you've talked to the townsfolk.
We did hear that rumor.
Yeah, I've heard that all my life. It's not true. He's just a weird old guy, weird old habits. When you live
Got it.
alone, there's no one to tell you you're being weird and to knock it off. So that's all that's going on.
How long's he been missing?
Well, not missing. He's just not been here last couple of weeks. I mean, he's a man of means. He can travel about. There's nothing suspicious about that by itself.
Well, it is a little suspicious because, at least from what we've been able to gather, he seems to be associated with a group called the Society of History. And a lot of members in that group seem to be missing.
At
Like we
least
haven't.
not present in your community today, which is weird because of Burry Festival, which is what we were here for, and it has to do with your town's history, and they should be here. If they
Yeah.
care about town history, yes.
Yes, that is odd, I admit, but they could have just been looking into something else, or
Just happens to be on the day that a young girl disappears, officer.
A
well,
young girl who they were courting.
I don't disagree with any of your premise here. Just we don't have evidence to act upon.
I mean, I admit it's circumstantial, but do we have did we take the papers from her room? We did, didn't we, right?
Yeah, from his room.
From Jenny's room.
I have no
Yeah.
idea.
We should have those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The letter at least, so I'll show him the letter.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he still has the diary entry from
Yeah.
earlier, the journal entry. So
The woman we were trying to find and speak to wasn't at the school. You remember that's the only thing that you were like, oh, how dare you? Oh. I swear I would have picked up the books. I knocked over a bookshelf, Bruce. That's what it was. I was just trying to, be in and out of there quickly so nobody was troubled, but
Well, I've
ended
asked
up leaving
around.
a mess.
I've asked around town about Janet Gillespie, and people think they saw her around, but nobody can seem. They claim she was near the promenade, and they saw her walking, but nobody can seem to find her now. None of my men can find hide nor hair of her either.
Well, this is my point. So you see, she was trying to recruit Jenny supposedly to this society. We found this letter. This was in Jenny's room. Jenny's missing. This woman, we can't find her, and we found all that weird stuff she had. So there you go. It's circumstantial, but it's a definite connection.
I mean, I agree there are lines that can be drawn here, but again, by the book, I need to have warrants. I've known these people all my life. I'm not just kicking down everyone's door. I have to live here after this investigation is over. You guys are just going to go back to wherever you came from. You have my reputation to think about.
That's fair, sir, but what if something terrible happens to Jenny?
We'll just
Have
keep.
to live with that too.
That's true. I hate to admit it, she's already been missing all day.
I don't know. Are the town folks really gonna look kindly upon a constable that took no action when a child went missing?
My men have been looking all day around town after you
Yeah.
informed me behind the school. Actions have been taken.
I'm glad to hear it, but nobody's found her, have they?
No.
Is there keeper?
Yep.
Is there any way I can because he's talked about like warrants a couple times, the constable. Is there any like legal argument I can make that there is some gray area just based off of the circumstances of the child being missing and like some of the circumstantial evidence that we found up to this point?
Um, Probably not, because he's saying he wants to do it by the book, and he says he's been looking already. It's clear he's just looking for something that he can actually act upon.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's people who are missing there, but adults can leave and they can go travel. There's nothing.
Okay.
I would say not. Plus, I don't want to tempt you to push another roll.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I think we've had our fill for tonight. All right, I'm gonna say that he's gonna let you all go, but this did waste a fair amount of time, and it is now 10 p.m., which puts you closer to that midnight that you saw on the calendar. So that would be in the back of your mind. And he's like, I'll let you all go if you want to continue to conduct the investigation quietly. You may. I do not condone anywhere breaking into anything. You can question the townsfolk. You can do what you like, but I will be watching the front door. My men will be watching the front door of the Black Castle for Hamish to come or go. I will get with the judge as soon as I can. They were all on holiday, as you know, for the festival. They should be back tomorrow. But yes, it may be too late. I don't know. My hands are tied here. Now get out.
Theo tips her non-existent hand. Thanks.
All right. So yeah, that'll be the punishment for that push roll. Essentially, you wasted some time.
I think we're winning the constable over slowly but surely, though.
I think he's just gonna get more and more angry. We're gonna
We
break
need-
into that guy's house, and he's just
We
gonna
need-
be like, "All right, okay, hold on a minute."
Whoa, Ella. The story is yet to be written. All right.
We need to try not to run into him again. Let's try.
All right. So Black Castle. That seems to be where we're going. You're going to have to find some way in there.
Now it's dark. correct.
Yes, it is
Okay.
very dark. Yeah, it is still next to a tavern. That tavern is still lively and seeing patrons. Constable is clearly posted out there, looking at right at the front entrance.
Back entrance? Question mark?
It would seem that the constable is going to follow you around if you try to go back there.
Mm-hmm.
He knows who you all are.
Hmm.
I
Now,
see. We go to the pub.
Yeah, if we start a bar fight,
I like where you're going, Mr. Detective Man.
that was Plan B. In fairness,
Plan B has become
Excellent.
Plan A.
now Bruce's machinations have begun to unfold.
I can
I
start
like-
a good bar fight. I tell you
Oh.
what.
Oh my goodness.
all right. You're walking to the pub, right?
Yep.
All right. There's that same middle-aged man there. He sees you were there with Eileen earlier. He looks at you again. He's like, you have been getting around town quite a bit, haven't you?
What can I say? We're the worst kind of tourists.
Oh, hello. Nice to
Oh.
meet you. I'm Theo.
As same as well. I'm Donald McDonald.
And I'm Ellis.
You have the look of a man of the sea about you.
I was in the Navy. Good
Mm,
tour I had. Yeah.
Same,
Want to see me
same.
medals here? Won these in the war. Can you believe it?
I can believe it. That war was a horror. I just I work out of my fishing boat now and tend to my stupid drunk son. About me being so
see.
blunt.
So you're also a man of the sea. You understand.
Of course.
Of course, of course. You say you had a drunk son? Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, which one's yours? They're all kind of drunk right now. I mean, isn't
Oh.
that the point of the day?
He disappeared shortly after I got here. He didn't want to talk to me. I let it go.
Disappeared?
Oh, disappear is a strong word. He just kind of wandered off.
Does
What-
that happen
what's-
often?
What's
Yes.
his name? Is he named after you?
His name is Malcolm McDonald.
Oh, all right.
There couldn't be two Donald McDonalds. Come on.
Well, sure, they're good. It happens all the time. Just call them Junior.
I mean, you guys have been making quite a ruckus. I've heard the constables talk about some outsiders.
Oh,
Maybe just be a fisherman, but it's not hard to put those dots together.
it's an undeserved reputation, I tell you.
Well, what is it you're all up to? Perhaps I can help you. I know
I
that
don't-
that young lady went missing. You're looking into it.
Oh, well, we were trying
Aye.
to.
Aye, sir. We're currently held up because our latest lead is Hamish's house, the Black Castle.
Ah,
Unfortunately, we cannot get in there right now due to extenuated circumstances. So that's currently what we're trying to puzzle through.
Do you know him?
I've seen the man a few times. I just don't talk to him, and it's fairly dull. He's pretty unpleasant.
So we've heard.
You want to get into Black Castle, do you?
I mean,
You know a way?
I do.
really?
Yes, on the beach there is if you find a trail, you can find old smuggler tunnels that lead in there.
Smuggler tunnels, like,
Oh.
do you care to elaborate why he has smuggler tunnels into his house?
I don't actually know why. I believe the story is that it's before his time and it just happened to be on the property that he bought. You can take that for what you will with the reputation of the man.
Do you know the way?
I do.
Do you want to show us?
Hmm. All right, I suppose I can. If it stops you from running around town and causing trouble.
Oh, nah, not us.
I doubt the police are going to want to search this place anyways without some sort of cause. It's possible the young lass
Warrants
is
and
in
all
there.
that.
Ah, warrants and laws
Ah,
and
who needs it?
Hooey.
all right, so you can all follow me and I will lead you there and then I will leave you there to do as you will. I won't go any further.
Tis fair,
Yeah.
tis fair.
Yeah, thank you, Donald McDonald.
I didn't name him that for the record. I'm innocent.
Are you serious?
So I know I named somebody able man, but this time I'm innocent. All right, he takes you down to the South Queens Ferry beaches. They're mostly comprised of shingles and pebbles. There is indeed a thin stretch of sand opposite of Black Castle on the other side of a breakwater that separates the Forth, which is the bridge, from the High Street. It is very easily accessed via stone steps at low tide. And as you look around, you all see seashells, and they're exactly the same type of seashells that was in Jenny's room. And then, as we go further, he does lead you to an old locked wooden door that's set into the rock of the breakwater. And he said, well, I forgot to mention it was locked. I can't help you with that, I'm afraid.
Tis fine, we have our ways.
I'm sure you do. And I will leave you here if you need me or a boat or anything like that to maybe run away from this place after committing several crimes. Let me know. I can provide you.
I'll
Really?
keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind.
Do you have a boat?
I do. Well, the fish aren't biting too well. I gotta make ends meet.
Oh,
Might have
man
to-
of means.
Might have to talk to you about an island later, but that's for another time.
All right, and he leaves you. And yeah, I'm gonna need the final locksmith to strength roll this session. I think we would play a spot hidden with locksmith this session.
Well, at least nobody can technically see us.
Yep, you're sure no one's watching.
Yo succeeds.
All right.
Nice.
It does open this old wooden door. It opens into a very dark basement, and we will end the session there.